Hey, before I kick off the podcast, I just want to shout out Next Door Clothing. Next Door, a clothing brand based out of Bondi in Sydney. They're making really nice jeans and shirts and hats. So go and check out their full range at nextdoorsydney.com. They're also artists, so you can go and check out a range of art. They put on rad parties, and I love what they're doing. So nextdoorsydney.com for the full range. Hey, it's Shan here. This week I speak with Chelsea Hackett. Chelsea is a female professional MMA fighter. Yep, another fighter on the podcast. Like I said in my last episode with Jamie Malarkey, she's part of a series of fighters that I'm having on the show. It's a very exciting time for the sport. February is a lot going on. There's a big event, UFC 284, and Chelsea is one of the marquee fighters that train at Freestyle Fighting Gym in Wollongong, Australia. And it's very interesting to get the female perspective on what is a male-dominated sport. Chelsea's been doing it for a long time. And the sheer perseverance and discipline and commitment that she has had to demonstrate throughout her time fighting is just unparalleled. Her difficulties, making it in a sport such as MMA are very different to what a male would have to go through. And we really delve into what those difficulties are, She struggles, finding sparring partners. She struggles to find people that want to fight her, women that are the same size in the same division. And, she goes into that and how that can be very difficult for motivation and mindset. She's like, in terms of podcasting, she's like the perfect podcast guest. She articulates well. She's fun. She's got great stories. She's energetic, and I just purely enjoyed every minute of talking to her. It's a long one. We talked for like over maybe 2.5 hours, but we had a lot to unpack. Chelsea, she's quite accomplished. She's been on Dana White's Contender Series, and she talks about that experience. She's scheduled to fight in the PFL in America in February, which is a big professional fight for her. And she's talking about the preparation for that. We're joined by her good friend, Michaela Jensen, who is Jarrett Wilbraham's significant other. He's a past guest. And, Michaela sits in and brings the perspective of what it's like to be the partner of a professional fighter and what's required of them in terms of supporting these elite athletes on their journey. So it's really good to get that contrast. And, Chelsea really goes into her personal relationship with her boyfriend and how they manage this and how they balance this relationship of chasing a dream and then giving time to one another and supporting one another in their dreams. So it's fantastic. We discuss the conundrum of social media. Is it necessary? Like, why do we need it? And she's, quite predominant on the social media front. She could be more predominant if she wanted to, but, she takes a back seat with it. She's been in the public eye outside of MMA as well. She was a contestant on the Australian reality TV show Survivor, and she tells us about that experience. It's like super funny. So yeah, it's good. It's lovely. We talk about masculine energy, feminine energy, but underlying it all, the themes that really stick out for me is just commitment, perseverance, maintaining integrity, and these are themes that she really holds strong, and you can feel it. So I hope you enjoy it, and as always, this episode's for my kids, and hope they find some inspiration when they get older and listen to the story of Chelsea Hackett, everybody. So enjoy. Terrible happy talks.
Yeah, give it to me, man. Whoa.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's do this. Are you in a weight cut at the moment?
Yeah.
Is it going to be an easy cut, you reckon?
I don't think so because it's been 2 years since I've cut weight.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I haven't fought in 2 years.
It's been okay. I wasn't sure. Wow.
Yeah. So my last fight was November 2020. So like I'm fighting in the same division, obviously, but your body changes and you aren't used to like when you cut weight consistently, like every few months, you know, your body, you only have a certain amount of time to go up in weight and then you bring it back down. Like it moves a lot easier and better. But I just feel like this is going to be a bit more of a slog, especially the last like 4 kilos.
Like 2 years. So that's a pretty long gap between fights.
Yeah, massive. It's the longest break I've had since I started.
How are you going mentally with it?
Look, I'm great, like fine. Now I'm not, people are like, oh, what about ring rust or cage rust?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're going to feel weird when you get in there. And I'm like, I'm not even thinking about that now. Like, I don't really, that's not where my focus is.
Yeah.
And also, if it was, I would just let those thoughts come into my head and I'll be like, oh, am I going to feel weird when I go in the cage again? And, you know, it's been a while, so I don't know how I'm going to feel, but I'm just not even thinking about that. Like, I feel comfortable where I am. I feel comfortable in like, yeah, it's been 2 years, but I definitely have progressed and become a better fighter in that 2 years. So that's what I'm like focusing on going into this fight.
Yeah. Lots of sparring though?
Lots of sparring.
Lots of sparring.
Yeah.
That's given you the confidence, you think?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Recently I've had an injury which took me out of sparring for like a few weeks. But before that, heaps of sparring.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Man, well, it's so good to be here with you today, Chelsea, and we're joined by your friend Michaela as well, who's co-hosting. Hey, Michaela, it's so good.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's exciting to be here.
Yes, it is. And for those of you that listen regularly, past guest Jarrett Wilbraham, professional fighter. Michaela is his, let's call her manager.
Better half.
And definitely better half. But don't, I would never say that to his face, but yeah.
I would.
Yes, definitely.
So tell me your story, because it's really interesting. I was initially drawn to Jarrett, not just because he's an amazing fighter, an amazing man, but, you know, his backstory of, you know, living in a van to pursue his dream is real. And I got goosebumps thinking about it. Tell us how you're fitting into the equation, because I know you've been spending a lot of time with Jarrett and Michaela. So how does it all work for you? How did it come about? Let's go.
Well, I don't obviously live in a van. Jarrett and Michaela came to the Gold Coast, my hometown, about 2 years ago. And Jarrett started training at Puma, the gym that we, you know, fought out of, and I was deep. I think I was like 2 or 3 weeks out from my last fight. I was like deep in camp. I don't even think like we talked that much. Like it was very much like I'm just tunnel vision, focused on the fight, like no distraction sort of thing. And then I think within like maybe 2 weeks of them being there, I flew out to Vegas to have my fight. And then, you know, that was in the middle of COVID. So I got stuck in quarantine for 2 weeks in Sydney before coming back home. And that was just a huge ordeal. And then I took the rest of that year off because I came back at the start of December. And then I reckon, about 2021, you know, Jarrett and I were the sort of only professional fighters at like that stage at Puma that were like actively fighting. So I was at Puma for about 5 years. And in that time that we had some great training partners and great fighters, you know, Reese McLaren and Selena, she was my weight division. She was an amateur fighter. And Tom Taylor, there was just Timmy, like there was heaps of really good fighters that were my weight. So that originally drew me into...
Yep, keep going.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That originally drew me into Puma because of all the bodies that I'd be able to train with. And so that was epic. And then around, I reckon... 2021 was still solid. Everyone was training. Jarrett was there. Really good crew, good team. So that's when I first met Jarrett and Michaela, and then from there we just talked shit and got closer.
Like, would it be safe to say they've become maybe like your temporary family down here?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. How important is that to you to be surrounded by the right people?
Oh, it's everything.
Is it?
You know, like fighting is, they say, a lonely sport. Like, you're the one in the cage. It's up to you to win and succeed and build a career out of it. But, in that sense, it's lonely, but everyone that gets you there, your family, your friends, your training environment, your teammates, like they all play literally the biggest part in, a fight camp and a fight and your career. So to know that, when Michaela and Jarrett were on the Gold Coast, like that was my home. So I had all my family and all my friends around and, I was safe there. But, when they decided to come back here, knowing that, because it left me in a hard position, because when Jarrett left Puma, I was then the last sort of professional fighter there. Everyone else was doing it as a hobby. They weren't fighters. They weren't as serious, into it. So it's really hard to be around people that, one, just don't, obviously, that's not their life. They're not competitive. So how can you sort of get better, if you know what I mean? So it was hard because Jarrett was, the last 6 months before they left, Jarrett was my only training partner, really. Yeah. So when he left, I was like, okay, I really need to make a decision. I can't, am I going to grow here? As hard as a decision it was to make, because Vince was an amazing coach and taught me so much, and he had so much experience and knowledge in MMA. He's trained champions, so that was difficult, but I knew that I actually came here and stayed with Jarrett and Michaela last July. That was my first trip here since they moved. And I was here for 2 weeks, and I was just like, they gave me, a home. They were my Uber. They'd drive me to training. They would do everything for me. And training at Freestyle for those 2 weeks, I came back to the Gold Coast and I was like, I need to make a decision.
Were they kind of like the catalyst for helping you finalise that decision? Did they
absolutely
make you feel safe in doing it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Michaela.
Thank you. Yes, it was all me.
It was all Michaela. It was not Jarrett at all. It was all Michaela. But yeah, I just went home and it was really hard to go from the experience that I'd had, not only obviously with Jarrett and Michaela, but 100% at Freestyle, and the training I was getting there, and the room of champions that are there, and just the energy in that gym. Going back home and going like, how can that just doesn't add up here. Like I just can't even compare what the experience I had there. Like, so interesting. Yeah. So it was so difficult. Like I'm the person that I'm a people pleaser. I hate confrontation.
You're a people pleaser.
Yeah, I just want to stay on the right side of people. Like, I don't want to cause issues. I hate confrontation.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like, and the hardest thing was at Puma and Vince, it's a loyalty there, right? Like I've been there for 4 or 5 years, and he's put so much time and effort into me. So for me, having these thoughts about I actually need to make a decision for my future and my career, but I'm going to hurt someone. Like I just knew that it was going to be a hard conversation with, the coach at Puma.
So that really dictated your decision?
Well, no. Like I knew that it had to be done.
But it was just hard?
But it was really hard,
Did it delay the decision?
No, I had that chat within a week of being home. Yeah. I think it was a week.
Yeah.
A week or 2 weeks.
And Vince is a very sensitive soul. So he's someone that you just don't ever want to upset or hurt, because he just gives you everything that he's got. So it's you just know that you're just going to be hurting his feelings kind of thing, because he takes you on as family when you're there sort of thing.
Which is great, which is what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't want to hurt this person.
Yeah.
Do you think he takes it quite personal?
Yeah.
I've got a few things I want to unpack here. Like the people pleasing thing is a big thing for a lot of people. It's definitely been a big part of my story.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise how much that was inhibiting my personal development and progress.
Huge.
If I go back to my childhood, if I'm honest, it stemmed from wanting to impress my dad and maybe not being as loved by him as I felt like I needed.
Yeah.
Okay. So then that actually dictated like a lot of my life.
Yeah.
Where do you think it stems from, the people pleasing for you?
No, I can absolutely relate there. Like mine, I had a great childhood. I have great parents. They, such hard workers. I say to this day, like my work ethic came from my parents. Like they are the hardest workers. But also like because I started martial arts so young and it's all I've done, my dad has been, he's been one of my coaches my whole, like since I was 8 years old. Like he is always...
Is that when you started?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it has always been I want to impress my parents. I want to impress my dad especially because he's a coach to me.
Okay.
He's my dad and my coach.
Interesting.
So it definitely stemmed from that as well. So that just kind of... Now, you're right, like with decisions, it just comes into my head like, okay, I just want people to be proud of me and I don't want to like, and loyalty and like just everything. But I am proud of myself, when I decided to leave Puma, that I didn't let that get in the way. Like I didn't let, my loyalty to Vince or how he would respond to it or, just staying there to protect his feelings and emotions rather than my career. Like there was no way, like my dad helps me in a lot of situations as well. Like I'll give him that. Like
is he your manager?
No.
Okay.
No. I have a manager. It's not my dad, but my dad helps me in situations like that because I just hate the conversations. Like I need to work on it. But I took my dad to have that conversation with Vince. And but I did all the talking. Dad didn't talk, but just him there. I'm like, okay, I need like him to be there, sort of thing.
This is just becoming such a common theme because I've spoke to a few fighters now, and I'm going to speak to a few more actually.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, I'm not an MMA podcast. There's so many good MMA podcasts out there. I'm just really intrigued by MMA fighters because the common theme that's really coming out of it is that generally they are very sensitive people. Mm-hmm. And this is where it's such a paradox because then you get in the ring and they're savages.
Yeah.
And I was saying this to Jamie Malaki the other day and you and I were talking about Alex Volkanovski.
Yeah.
And once again, you're just another example of like, you've come from a really nice home, loving family.
Yes.
And I'm just really curious as to like what changes once you get in the ring. And you're talking about how sensitive you are. You don't want to hurt someone else's feelings.
Yeah. But I'm fine to punch him in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll punch it. Is it purely just because it's a pure love for the sport, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But well, tell me what you love about the sport.
For me, I was young. I was a female when I started martial arts. So being young, being a girl, starting Taekwondo, then, I'll talk about like my whole sort of transition through martial arts. But my love for martial arts in general just came from like the confidence that it was giving me as well through school. It was a big thing. So, I started fighting when I was 12. I was just about to turn 13. I had my first fight. So I was actively fighting all through middle school and high school. And I was not a popular kid. I wasn't, bullied. I was kind of in the middle. I had two good friends and that was it. And I kept quiet and all of that, sort of just kept to myself. But I always knew how to sort of stand up for myself and stay strong, and that came from martial arts. So, yeah, I think my love for the sport came from just, I just love doing it. I love how it makes me feel. I love how empowered I feel. I love how confident I feel when I'm doing it, and I just love hitting shit.
Yeah.
I just love it.
But, I mean, it's so technical as well. I think the average punter doesn't really understand. There's a lot of elements involved.
So many.
You know, and they often describe MMA as a chess match.
Yeah.
Do you think it is?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But I think what I really like about MMA fighters, especially at the elite level that you train and compete at, is that, you know, there's obviously the physical component, highly demanding on you physically.
Yes.
But the mental and emotional aspect is so high, like you need a high level of emotional intelligence. So,
Absolutely.
like, what do you think are some of the key emotions that you're dealing with, you know, regularly, and then on the actual day? Tell me.
God, everything.
Like what? Come on, tell me some of your emotions. Talk about your emotions.
Pressure, stress, anxiety,
Fear?
Fear, absolutely. Fear of the unknown, you know, like training so hard and pushing so hard, but it's unknown. You know, you get to the fight, anything can happen, you know.
Fear of embarrassment? Fear
of embarrassment. Like literally every emotion and feeling possible is what we go through as fighters. Yeah. And it takes experience in the sport and maturity, I think, to channel which emotions in what situations and environments, right? Like me and Michaela talk about it a lot, like you have all these thoughts coming into your head. There's some that you really can't let sit there, you know, because if you do, it's not going to be good. So we've talked about that heaps, like, you know, when you're in the gym and you know you've got something really fucking hard coming up and you've got to channel like confidence, you know, just get it done. You just got to let any sort of like, oh, I feel shit today. I didn't have a coffee before I came. My body's sore. All of that, you just get it out of your head and just get what you need to do, just get it done.
How does it impact your relationship with your partner?
My fighting in general.
And all those emotions and things you deal with.
How do I explain it? So I definitely don't talk about my emotions when they come in. Like even though I'm female and people say like girls are more emotional, blah, 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 like I definitely suppress a lot until like I might hit a point, maybe I've had a bad training session, I come home and then everything I've felt the last maybe, couple of weeks, a month comes up and then I just word vomit it out to Jake, my partner, and he's amazing, but he does tell me like, you need to address your emotions and feelings like when you feel them. Like you can't just bottle them up inside and then there's like it's like a ticking time bomb. Like something goes off and then everything like comes out. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but that's just me. Like I've always been like that. I ignore a lot of my feelings, but I also think that's a good thing. Like it's not always, so it's a bad thing in like my personal life, I feel, like in general, but in fighting and competing and training, I can just forget about how I feel.
Like compartmentalize.
Yes, yeah.
What about you, Michaela?
Yeah, I was just going to jump in there.
Let's go.
Because I think Chelsea and I can resonate a lot with this because what it is that there's the masculine and feminine side. Everybody has a masculine and feminine side. Yeah. And both Chelsea and I are more masculine because that means we're like, we just get things done.
Yes.
We just want to get in, do what we've got to do, get out kind of thing. And if an emotion comes in, it's an annoying thing that's happened. Yes. So we're like, this is not needed right now. This is not appropriate because it's not going to help me in the situation. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to forget about it. Mm-hmm. And then we just forget about it until something else happens. And then we feel like we're in a safe environment, I guess, to allow it to come out.
Yes.
And then we just let everything out from probably 6 months ago.
Literally. That's such a good way of putting it. Like that's like how it is.
But that's just the masculine way of being like, this is not needed, this is not necessary, let's put it aside because we need to get jobs done.
Yeah.
And then we'll get the jobs done and then worry about that at another time sort of thing.
Yeah, well, conversely though, Michaela, how do you go about supporting a fighter through those ebbs and flows, those ups and downs emotionally? What strategy do you take?
I guess I have a good understanding of emotion too, even though I personally can't get my own sometimes. I understand other people.
What do you mean get your own?
Like I wouldn't understand if I'm upset. I can't understand why I might be upset yet.
Gotcha.
But I know I am. But I just can't get why.
Okay.
And then I then have to unravel it all, sort of thing. But from an outsider dealing with somebody going out through theirs, I'm really good at helping them with that, which is strange. But
you're so good at that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think probably what I've always felt with my own life, I'm a good side kicker. I'll support.
Yes.
Like you're a good team player.
Yeah. Good team player, yeah, for sure.
And you've kind of found that maybe that's your niche in life.
I think so, yeah. Like I don't have my own real dreams or goals or anything like that, but I will 100% support someone with theirs because I'm like, hell yeah. I want to be on that ride too, but I just can't do it myself.
Yeah. What's going to happen when the ride ends?
I'm pretty content with then whatever it is, you know. I'm just like, that was that time, that was that experience, but now we're just living, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, I want to challenge you a little bit because like I know what you've done in your past life without going into your personal details too much, and you've achieved a lot on a personal level as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So I don't know. I just think maybe this is just your journey at the moment, you know.
Yeah, it could be.
And you may,
sure.
and it may change.
It may change. 100% may change.
Roles may change. You just don't know, right?
I'm open to it.
Are you?
Yeah, whatever's going to happen will happen.
So interesting. Yeah. Do you think, like, because it is, let's face it, it's a male-dominated sport.
Yeah.
And I have so much admiration and respect for women who want to enter into this, you know, and I can go into freestyle gym, which is a really nurturing and nice gym.
Yes.
But, you know, I guess when you first go there, for anyone,
it's intimidating.
It's intimidating.
Very intimidating.
You know? And it's intimidating as a guy, let alone, you know, being like a female.
Yeah.
When you're maybe literally the only female in the gym.
Yeah.
So, you know, how are you managing that? You know, being around that kind of masculine energy all the time. Is it actually helping you or is it making you feel isolated?
Nah, I'm so used to it now. I'm so used to it because it's literally been my life since I was 8. Like,
right.
Because I've been in martial arts for so long that I don't even think about, I'm the only girl in the gym today or every day. Or, you know, I've got a Mina here, which is awesome because she's my way. You know, we're both competitive, we're both pros. So that's actually a really good change because I most of the time don't have that. Sorry. But I am so used to being surrounded by boys and masculine energy and it translates into, you know, outside the gym as well because I make friends with guys way easier than I do with girls.
But I hear that off so many women.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, it's interesting. It's not just fighting women. I hear it off a lot of women.
And I think it's got to do with, the masculine and feminine energy. Like I am such a masculine energy. I have so this was an argument my partner and I had about 6 months ago. And it was when I came home from here after freestyle. He had 2 weeks of being without me and he's obviously pondered, you know, what our life. And I came home and we had this conversation that, you know, we brought up masculine and feminine energy and it was crazy because when we were talking about that, like when I was here, me, Michaela and Jarrett had full conversations about this and I was very unaware that that's what I was, if you know what I mean. Like of course I know I'm masculine, but when Michaela kind of broke it down of like, this is feminine energy sort of traits and this is masculine traits. And I'm like, I have not one feminine trait in my body. Not one.
In and out of the gym?
In and out of the gym.
I don't believe it.
Like,
I was... Believe it.
Believe it. No. Like, believe it. Like, and so when I got home and had this conversation with Jake, and he literally said to me, like, let me start this again. I actually started the conversation about, I've just realised on my trip away that I have not one feminine trait in me. Like, I'm just full masculine.
Well, describe a feminine trait. Like what? You don't like going to get your nails done?
Sensitive. Like when I say sensitive, maybe I can be
Like,
a little bit sensitive.
Okay, here's a question, and this will decide if you have feminine trait.
Yeah.
Right. Have you seen the movie The Notebook?
Yeah.
Did you cry?
No.
I didn't.
See, you didn't cry.
There you
either.
go. No.
See, I cried. I'm like, I can't believe that's them in their. Yeah, like I cried.
No.
So
I
what's
did
going
not
on
cry.
there?
There you go. So.
No, I'm just joking. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So I literally, Jake's like, yeah, like he was good, fine. Like he's so good. He's so good. But yeah, he was like, yeah, you need to work on that. Like you just need like, you know, you can be masculine in the gym, but just, you know, maybe put your toes in the the feminine energy a little bit. And I was like, okay. And I actually was like, I really need to work on this because in a relationship, like it's not great. Like because the male wants to be the masculine, bigger. He wants to be the masculine, the protector.
I mean, that's okay. We could go down a huge rabbit hole, but let's go. Like that's a stereotype.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that's true.
I do understand it. Men have that primal urge to be the protector.
And when you've got a female that's kind of challenging that masculine field, it doesn't always work, and it doesn't work in some situations. And like, I'm just lucky.
But maybe he is in a different way. That's not traditional. Like it sounds like he's putting you in your place and calling you out on some of your stuff. Like emotionally, you know, like you just said, he's calling me out on this, he's calling me out on that.
Yeah.
You know, like that would take him, like you talked about uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
That would take him some courage from him. So maybe that's just what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, now that I remember, I did start the conversation because I was talking about me, Michaela and Jarrett talking about masculine and feminine energy. And me realising that I don't have any feminine energy. And he was like, yeah, you don't. You're all masculine. So I kind of took away from that conversation. I do need to, in my personal life, I do need to channel a little bit of my, just a little bit.
But,
But I haven't, just to let you know, I haven't. 6 months later and nothing's changed.
Still the same.
But you like to feel feminine? Like you like to dress in like a nice outfit if you're going to a special occasion? Do you like to wear makeup?
No, I hate
things that make you feel
that? I don't feel comfortable. I've never felt comfortable wearing makeup.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I will only wear it if I feel like I need to, like if we're going to an event, and I will never put it on to feel pretty. Like, do you know, I would never wake up and be like, I want to feel pretty today, I'm going to put makeup on.
You don't need it to feel pretty.
No. And I actually feel so much more comfortable in my own skin when I'm not wearing makeup. When I wear makeup, I go out, I do what I need to do, and I need to get it off straight away.
What were you like as a teenager?
Oh.
Were you like more of like a...
tomboy.
For lack of a better term, a tomboy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I've been a tomboy my whole life. Like Mum always says, there was this video of me doing a concert at preschool, and there's photos and stuff too, and apparently I would not leave the house because we all had to wear the same outfit, and it was like a yellow pink tutu and ballet shoes, and I would not leave the house for this concert because I didn't want to wear the tutu. So Mum put me in denim overalls with a green top underneath and sneaker shoes to leave the house. And so we got out of the house and we got to this preschool concert. I was like, I don't know, 5. And then Mum's like, okay. And the teacher said, we need to change her into the outfit. And I just lost my shit and I did not change into the outfit. So there's this photo and video of everyone in a tutu and I'm in my denim overalls and a green top smack bang in the middle doing this concert. And Mum's like, that's literally what I was like.
Interesting.
I would just live in denim overalls, like just don't change her.
So your parents were quite supportive of you just being you.
Oh, 100%.
They weren't trying to influence you in any other way.
No. Yes. Nah. That's literally how I've become where I am now. Is the support of my parents.
You're kind of challenging gender stereotypes. It's epic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
But you're heterosexual.
What does that mean?
I don't even know.
Heterosexual means that you like men.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, there's heterosexual, there's bisexual.
Oh my God, yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you know what heterosexual is? Sorry.
No, I do.
We're so heterosexual that we just have never known anything other than that.
Yeah. Okay.
Literally.
I know. I don't want to. I hope that's an appropriate question, but you know what I mean. Like,
oh my God,
it's
yeah,
like
totally.
You sort of challenge this gender stereotype, which may align with another type of sexuality.
100%, and that's definitely someone people look at. I don't know if people. Oh yeah, I reckon people looked at me. And sometimes, like it happened the other day. Jake and I were somewhere, and this girl was apparently giving me eyes, and Jake was like, "Oh." Like she's keen.
You're right.
She wants to. And I was so oblivious to it. And I was like, "What do you mean? What the?" And he's like, "Chelsea, like sometimes you can give off that vibe. Like look at you, like." And I was like, "Oh shit."
Were you a good student at school?
I was the teacher's pet. I was definitely the teacher's pet up until grade 7.
What? Okay.
Grade 7 it all changed.
Puberty around puberty?
No, I met my best friend.
Yeah.
And she was not the teacher's pet. She was like, man, like just so fun, but would just kind of take me off the path. So I used to, up until grade 7, I had some friends and they were like, homework on time, like wouldn't have lunch until their homework's done. So I was hanging out with them and I was like doing that. And they had really good food in their lunchbox. So I was like stealing their food as well. And then Natalie, my friend, came into the picture, and from grade 8 to grade 11, I dropped out at the end of grade 11. Me and Nat were just rat bags.
Interesting.
I mean, I didn't fail, but I wasn't the teacher's pet anymore.
You weren't focused. Like, what subjects at school were you kind of gravitating towards?
Just sport.
Just PE and sport?
PE, anything that got me out of the classroom.
What other sports did you like to play?
I played touch at school, a bit of volleyball, and I also actually tried tennis.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I wasn't bad at tennis.
Okay.
Yeah, Mum and Dad thought I would stick to tennis.
You were quick, weren't you?
I think I was.
Fast reflexes.
Yeah, I remember one day, like, I finished a tennis session after school and the coach was like, "Oh, like, you're like a mini Serena Williams." And I just took that and I was like, I was like, "Mum and Dad, like, I'm a mini Serena Williams." Yeah. And then I realised, like, I was 12 at this point because I was still doing martial arts, but I was just trying tennis. And I think I was 11 or 12, and then I realised I was in the under-9s category.
Right.
They put me in the under-9s category with, like, those kids, and no one wanted to, like, break it to me that I'm, like, this massive, like, 12-year-old in an under-9s category. And they're like, "Oh, you're really good." Compared to these other young...
Yeah, like I'm 3 years older than you, which is a huge age gap at that age.
Huge. But, tennis never really stuck.
I was just thinking, like, tennis would be, like, good cross-training for fighters because it's, like, it's footwork, it's reflexes, it's timing.
Yeah, it would,
touch.
but fighting takes up all your life.
It does.
You can't do anything else.
It takes that long to program that muscle memory, right?
Oh, so long.
Yeah.
I'm still a loser sometimes, like a lot of the time. Like, I'm like, how am I even a fighter? Like, you always have those days where you're like,
what am I doing?
It's not clicking. Shit. I just feel like it.
It's because, and then once you spar, like, I think a spar or actually fight, that's when you realise how much you need that programming of the muscle memory.
What's sticking that you can do under pressure, in a fight, in a real situation.
And you're not actually having to think about the moves. They've got to just come out of you naturally.
You can't think because you don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, and I think the average punter doesn't understand that.
No.
And I say this on the podcast a lot. I think every person needs to spar in a combat sport once.
Yeah.
At least once in their life, because I think you just learn so much about yourself in those moments. Like,
I agree.
You know, whether it's boxing or MMA, you really do learn about, you know, what you're made of.
Yes.
Mentally and obviously physically. It comes out straight away. And, you know, like, I've seen dudes who can punch the absolute shit out of a bag. They can be really good on the pads.
It doesn't
and everything.
translate.
And then as soon as they spar around, it's just like technique, everything's just out the window.
Fully.
Fitness, everything's gone.
Yes.
They're panicking. They're chewing up all their oxygen.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, again, one of the reasons why I'm just so in awe and have so much admiration for these elite athletes such as yourself. So, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Listen, when you were growing up, you said you got into MMA at 8 years old.
No, not MMA, martial arts. Martial arts, so
Like what,
taekwondo. Yeah.
So what got you there? Your parents just thought it'd be something fun for you to do, or they just...
Yeah, so my dad was the first one that started taekwondo. So my dad is like, people always say, because he's one of my coaches and has been for ages, and they're like, oh, did he used to fight? Has he had fights? And I'm like, he just fought the streets of Toowoomba. That's literally my dad.
A brawler.
A brawler. So he started taekwondo first, and then he got all the way to his black belt and became a teacher at the taekwondo school.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so I was 8, my brother was 10, and my mum and my dad, we all decided that we'd all do it together. So it was just something we could do as a family. Dad was one of the teachers, and after school we would just go to taekwondo as a family.
Yeah.
So we all did that. Mum started, my brother started. We're all doing it. Did it for 4 years. So we did it consistently for 4 years, and we all got our black belts. Me, my brother, my dad was already a black belt, and my mum.
So you're a black belt as well?
Yeah,
in taekwondo.
We don't talk about that because it's just taekwondo. But if it was all I did, then I'd be like, I'm a black belt in taekwondo.
You can just say you're a black belt. Just say it.
Yeah, but like, it's just gay now. It's gay because of what I do now. MMA is the hardest out of all.
It is the best sport.
It is. So, I was 12. It's just crazy how, like, the transition happened, though. Like, once we all got our black belts, my brother was like, I'm done with this. I'm going to do something else. He played soccer. My dad, we all left the taekwondo school. My dad started a Chinese boxing school in a car park. Chinese boxing is like street fighting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's close range fighting. It's like dirty fighting.
Like
so you
eye
just
pokes?
Yeah.
Like you got to do that?
Yeah. Stick fighting, grab their head, you're only throwing elbows. There's no real punches, just real close, dirty.
Wow.
They call it Chinese
Your
boxing.
old man started that.
So my dad started it when we left taekwondo.
He's like a legend.
Yeah, he's so rough. Ask Michaela. He's just like the roughest. So he started it in a car park. So Flannery's, Flannery's?
Is that a pub?
No, Flannery's is like a whole food shop. So the car park, this is on the Gold Coast in Miami. Yeah. You've got Flannery's on the Gold Coast Highway.
I know it. I know the Gold Coast Highway, and I know Miami. Yeah.
So there's Flannery's, and you just drive through, and there's this massive sort of drive-through car park. Yeah. And there's a massage place up the top, and Dad paid the massage dude, per week to use the car park space at night from like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on a Monday and Wednesday night.
Like a proper fight club.
It's a fight club. Yes. It was a fight club. So you would get 25 men, grown men, just men, obviously, that would come and just like punch the shit out of each other. They would wear headgear and stuff. Yeah. And my dad and this other trainer ran it. So once that started, my mum then started to go, and then another lady started to go that was a weapon. And then I started to go, and I was 12. I was still 12 at this point. Amazing. So I remember this is pretty much, I think, the night that Dad was like, okay, she can do something with this. Yeah. Because Taekwondo is like, it's point sparring, right? You don't actually...
The savage started to emerge.
Yeah, because Taekwondo was like, you're just scoring points and you're just touching each other and you can't hit hard. You're wearing like boots to kick each other. So this is when it started. So it was like 6 months. I was just rocking up on Mondays and Wednesdays to it was Wise Force Chinese boxing.
What was it called?
Wise Force.
Wise
Force Chinese boxing.
Interesting.
So
interesting.
And Dad put me in. He put a head guard on me at the end of the session and put me in with Jacob, who was like ended up being one of my training partners through my whole Muay Thai career, but we'll go there. So he put me with Jacob. Jacob's 16, big dude. 3-minute round, MMA gloves,
Okay.
So I started
So
in
what,
MMA gloves.
8 ounce gloves?
Like 4 ounce
4
gloves.
ounce gloves, Jesus.
And headgear, and it was like 3 minutes, just throw whatever you want, like just go. Anyway, Jacob's like laying into me, and I'm just like trying to survive, and then it was like the last minute, and I just like pinned him against the concrete wall and just unleashed like everything, elbows, and just from everywhere.
Did you have headgear on as well?
Yeah. We both did. And yeah, I just remember, I think that was the point where like everyone was like looking, and then I finished the round, took my headgear off, and Dad was just like,
yeah,
sick.
That's my girl.
That's my daughter.
Yeah.
And then, from then I was like, okay, this is pretty cool.
It's so interesting. Like, Michaela, you're like, I've seen you train, Michaela, and I think I've sparred with you.
Yes, you have.
And like, you're like mega fit, like you're a personal trainer, and you've got a personal training business as well, and you're surrounded by all these people. Like, why have you ever been inclined to maybe, start to compete?
We've spoken about it.
Yeah, we have spoken about it. There is definitely something inside of me that would love to do it. I think it's more so that I can say I've done it.
Yeah, gotcha.
I've like fully experienced it and pushed myself way past the limit that I thought I had, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I am a big scaredy cat at the same time. I'm like, I don't want to get hurt. And then at the same time, like, I don't want to hurt someone. Like, I really don't want to hurt anyone. But then if I'm in there and I'm training, I'm like, yeah, I'm so going to hurt you. I could hurt you so bad.
Yeah, so because that's what you have to have. Like, if you're always like, I don't want to hurt someone, then obviously fighting is not for you. But you can tell when Michaela starts to spar and roll, you're like, she could absolutely hurt someone.
I noticed. Yeah. I haven't rolled with you, but I noticed. It's like, oh, damn, like she could have really hurt me then.
I would like to, definitely, but at the same time, I don't think I want to either, because, and Jarrett always says it's a curse. So he's like, I don't want you to get started in this, because I feel like then you'll get sucked in, and it's just not something you really want to do at the same time, kind of thing. So he's sort of steered me away from it.
It's so true, because I have conversations with people that are like, they're really good on pads and really good on the bag, and they say to me like, oh, I really want to have a fight. Like, I really want to do a fight camp. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, literally, that's my answer. I'm just like, but you really don't, because like we know what it takes out of you. Yeah. And it's just so demanding, and
You kind of got to give everything else up,
Yeah,
right?
you do.
How do you feel when you hurt someone? Whether it be in a competition or in training?
Training, you feel horrible.
Yeah.
Training, you feel horrible because they're your teammates.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want to do is, especially if they're in a fight camp, and it's a really shit feeling. But in the cage, I don't think I care.
Okay.
I'm like, I just want to win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything to win.
Well, anything to win.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Wow. You're competing in the PFL?
Yes.
In February?
Yes, February 24th.
So for those that are unaware, can you just explain what the PFL is exactly?
Yeah, PFL is pretty new, when you compare it to UFC. UFC has been around for 30 years. PFL, I think, 5 or 6 years. So it's definitely fresh. It's still gaining its momentum. A lot of people you talk to, they don't know what it is. And PFL is, a fighting league. It's over in Florida in the US, and what I really like about PFL, it's very different to the UFC. So like UFC, you get a contract of, say, 4 fights, and they just match you normally when they want to, when they have an opponent for you, and you do those 4 fights. PFL, if your division is in the PFL, it's a tournament. So you're trying to get to the championship fight. So you're trying to go through everyone in your weight division, win every fight to then get to a PFL championship and $1 million US prize money.
Like an elimination, knockout competition.
Knockout competition.
So potentially you can get eliminated in the first round?
Yes.
Okay.
So what happens is it's way more competitive that way.
I was going to say, yeah.
Way more competitive, because you also so you have
to be on a win streak.
Yeah. So the thing is, PFL, because they're so new, they only have a handful of weight divisions currently in their league, right? So for females, up until this year, there's only been the lightweight female division, which is 70 kilos.
I was going to ask, well, that's quite heavy.
Huge.
So what do you usually fight at?
So I fight at flyweight, 57.
Wow.
So, you know, my manager actually has a client, Rob Wilkinson, which you would know. He actually just won the PFL championship at the end of last year.
Right.
So my manager also manages Rob. So he has the contacts and all of that for the PFL. And about September, October last year, Reece said to me, my manager, PFL are putting the female flyweight division in the season. Wow. They're bringing it in. Are you keen? And I was like, what do you mean am I keen? Of course I'm keen. Like, because I can't, like, getting fights for females is just hard.
That's actually one of my questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
Because obviously, like you said, it's male-dominated sport. The pool of females that fight are really small. Australia is just...
And then finding the right matchup.
Yeah. So, like...
sorry to jump in, but so the UFC isn't necessarily your focus as the goal?
It was.
Yeah, but it's not anymore?
No.
But here's my question is, like, would there be more... Because there's more... Is there more female fighters in the UFC? Are you going to have more opportunity in that league?
Yeah, there's so many more fighters in the UFC. Like, they would probably have maybe 40 flyweight girls on the roster.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm kind of just like... The last 2 years, I've just been trying to get better.
Okay.
Hours in the gym, because that's another thing. My transition to MMA was 5 years ago from a completely different martial art. So I was still... When I had my first MMA fight, I had 8 months of MMA training.
Wow.
That's not a lot.
But you had the background in Muay Thai.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you weren't going in fresh.
Well, with wrestling and jiu-jitsu, yes.
You had no... Okay.
But because so I relied heavily on my striking.
Okay.
And I did for like my first... all my MMA fights. So because in Muay Thai I was fighting, like I would fight regularly and a lot. Like this is the longest I haven't fought for.
Yeah.
So when I transitioned to MMA and I had that first fight, I just kept going. Like I was like, oh, the ball's rolling. Next fight. And all these girls in Australia in MMA, there was like a fresh pool of girls that, you know, different to Muay Thai. So I just kept fighting and, you know, you kind of go through that mentality of if it's broke, you don't have to fix it.
Yes,
so I'm like, win, contender. Then that opportunity came. Yeah. Which is massive. Like Dana White's Contender Series, you're fighting.
So you got selected for that?
Yeah.
Oh, have you fought in it?
Yes.
I didn't even know that. Sorry. I should do more research.
No, we should have said that at the start.
Shit, I'm so sorry.
No, don't be silly. So
what an experience.
Yeah, huge. So that was my last fight. So when you say like, that's why when you said, is UFC not your focus anymore? I'm just like, well, it's just like I'm now on a different sort of path with PFL. Like it would be if I didn't get this PFL opportunity. Absolutely.
So what was the outcome of the Contender Series fight? Like, did you get a tap on the shoulder from Dana White afterwards and offered a contract?
No. I lost the fight.
Oh, you lost the fight?
Terribly. Yeah. Which is why I'm still here.
In Vegas?
In Vegas.
Let's go to that experience if you don't mind. Like, what did you learn from that fight?
I learned a few things. I learned that COVID is a bitch.
So, you had been sick?
No. So what happened was my last fight on Eternal, which is a local show, going into that fight, Reece had said to me, if you win this fight, you're going to get the call up for Contender Series.
Wow.
So I went into that fight not just like, I need to win this fight. This is me, like, getting into Contender. So that was in March 2020. Mm-hmm. I won that fight. So over the moon because I was like, yes, I'm going to Vegas, like sick. And then it was literally 10 weeks after that fight because I was already back in camp. I was supposed to be going and fighting on Contender in July 2020. While I've just started that camp, COVID started. And then we were like, okay, shit, what's going to happen? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to get my travel and my visa sorted for July. And then COVID just gets worse and worse. And then Reece says, okay, they're moving it to September. Fully just pushing Contender. I was like, okay. So I was kind of in camp, came out of camp, went back into camp for September.
Right.
COVID was not getting better. Okay, in September. In August, so it would have been 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
Reese goes, they're moving it to November. So from July, September, 4 weeks out, okay, now they're doing it November. Like, it just needs to keep getting pushed back because we can't fly you from Australia to the States right now because of COVID. And everyone else that was on the cart. So then I came out of camp again. And then now I'm going back into camp for November, and I've got an opponent from Canada.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, sweet, I knew who my opponent was 10 weeks out.
That's nice.
Cool, training for her. 8 weeks out. No, I don't even think it was 8 weeks out. 6 weeks out of November date, she can't get her US visa, so she gets pulled. It's okay, we're finding you a replacement. 1 week later, we've got you a replacement. Sweet, still in camp. She's pulled out. We're going to find you another one. So we went through, so the fourth opponent said yes, and she was my opponent.
On how many days' notice did she say yes?
3 weeks out. 3 weeks out.
3 weeks, okay.
So from 6 weeks out to my first opponent pulling out,
yeah,
I got my actual opponent 3 weeks out of contender.
Okay, so she took that 3 weeks' notice.
She took it on 3 weeks' notice.
Which, for some fighters, that's a pretty good amount. Like UFC this weekend, Sean Strickland took a fight with 1 week's notice.
Yeah.
In the UFC. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, this is my opponent now. A bit of a mind fuck, but we're here. This is my opponent.
So then you start learning about her.
Then I'm like, okay, I got to study her. Watch her fight. She fought heaps on Invicta, which is a all girls card in the States. She was 30, 32, 33, 12 pro fights, way more experience than me, obviously, in MMA. And Invicta has high level competition because it's in the States. So I was like, yep, all good. But because it happened 3 weeks out, I'm still in this, like, I couldn't let, like, even though I was, like, watching her fights and studying her as such, it was too close for me to, one, change game plans, to overthink her fight style in the situation. So I was just staying in my lane. Okay, she actually striked a lot in her previous fights. I'm like, sweet, I'm a striker. It's going to be a striking fight. Didn't see a lot of wrestling from her, so that was really what I went in with. And then, we've flown out. Oh, that was another thing. This is like the longest story.
No, hey, listen, be long.
It was just like,
listen, this is your platform. Let's go.
So I'm 3 weeks out. We're still on the Gold Coast. I still don't have my US visa.
I'm hanging off your every word here, by the way.
Yeah, so I still don't have my US visa. So I'm 3 weeks out. I'm prepping. I'm like, okay, I've had 4 opponent changes, and I don't have my US visa. Shit, like, let's just focus on the fight. We're good. We're fine.
So then your head's running. My
head's running, and I've been in a 6-month fight camp because it just kept getting changed.
So you're physically tired.
Yeah. So then it would have been, so we flew. My fight was the 17th of November. We flew to Sydney on the 5th of November. We had to fly to Sydney to get my interview at the Sydney consulate to get my US visa before flying to the States. So we were in Sydney on the 5th of November. We were there for 4 nights before. We already had our US flight booked. It was booked weeks ago, right? So we were leaving on the 9th of November to the US.
Right.
It's now the 5th of November. I have my interview on the 7th of November.
And this is dodging all the COVID bullshit protocol.
We're still in COVID, which is why the visa process took so long.
Yeah.
So 7th of November, I've got my interview. So I get all dressed up. You have to look so suited up and just like professional.
Feminine?
Oh, I still didn't look feminine, of course. No, I was wearing a blazer.
I'm sorry. Like, you have a feminine energy about you.
Do I?
Yep.
Wow, okay. That's actually, no one else has said that.
Yeah, it's not a line or anything. I'm not trying to hit on you or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you do.
Okay, that's good. That's
I mean
good.
that as a compliment.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm happy
There's
with
a
that.
balance there.
Great, I'll take that. Maybe I have been working on it. So, anyway, I look as professional as I can.
Yeah.
I get to the consulate and we do the interview, which I was stressed out about. I didn't know what to expect, but it was pretty straightforward. You're not a criminal.
Yeah.
You're not going to be a prostitute over there. We're sweet. Clear the line. We're good. So
is that the sort of shit they asked you?
Yeah, there's just heaps of stuff because the application there's so many questions. And then he says to me, so I wait for an hour and then he calls my number up and I go back to the thing and he says, okay, we're going to process your visa. It'll be done within 21 days.
Right. What?
I have 2 days. I fly to the US in 2 days. So I stood there and I looked at him and I cried.
Yeah.
I broke down because I was so stressed. And I said, that's literally what I sounded like. I was like, I can't, I'm leaving in 2 days.
Are you an ugly crier?
Yeah, so ugly.
Okay,
so ugly.
I think I look pretty good.
Yeah. And so I broke down and I just begged. I said, I'm leaving in 2 days. I need this visa. This is my life. Like, you, please just do an emergency process. Like, do whatever you can. And he was really good and he said, okay, let me just ask my supervisor. Went out, came back. He's like, we will text you when it's ready to be picked up. And I was like, but still, that's no confirmation that it's going to be ready in 2 days. Yeah. So I said, oh, okay. And he's like, I seriously can't tell you when. I said, we will text you when your visa's here. Wow. So that I couldn't sleep that night. Next day, I'm just like waiting for the text, stressing. We fly out tomorrow. Like, shit, whatever.
Oh, my God.
And then it was like, I think it was like 1 p.m. And I got a text saying it's ready to be picked up. And Dad and I just like got in an Uber and just bolted to the embassy.
What time was your flight?
On the next day.
The next day.
So they got it done that day and I was like, see, you can do it. Like, come on. Anyway, so I've got major PTSD from that experience.
Understandable.
Because I'm currently waiting for my interview for this visa.
Oh my
for the
God.
PFL.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I have PTSD.
So it's triggering you. It's triggering you.
I'm like, why? Because that visa that I got for Contender was 30 days.
Yeah.
So it was so short.
So you fought in the Apex?
Yes.
Right.
With no one because it was
As I say, yeah.
Yeah, it was just Dana White.
Yeah.
And Mick Maynard.
Look, I've got a question. I've got to ask. It's a burning desire, and it's a bit controversial. Can I ask it? It's about Dana White.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the recent news of him slapping his wife as a female fighter who is,
like, obviously, I was like,
I don't want to put you on the spot.
Bro. No, I was just like, shit, bro. Like,
how did it sit with you?
Well, no, like, no woman should be fucking hit or slapped at all. But how it looked to me was that's definitely not the first time. It's just been filmed. So, and his reaction and what he said after it implies that what a shit situation because this was filmed by someone and like it's definitely happened before, you can tell. But yeah, no, absolutely not. And even if she hit him, it was just he never should have done it. He shouldn't have touched her. But it's hard because I actually had Dana, when I lost my Contender fight, I was crying, walking out of the cage, devastated as you are, went and got doctors checked, and I looked up and he was standing in front of me in the doctor's room, and I was like, oh God, stop crying, like stop looking like a little girl. And he was really nice, and he just said, you did so well and you showed some great things and you know what you need to work on. He's like, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon. Like, he was lovely, and like walked out of the room, and the doctor even said, I've worked for him for 20 years as a doctor, and Contender especially, like he very rarely comes into a room if you've lost. Like, interesting. So if you take anything from this experience, like take that sort of thing. And I was like, cool. That's really cool. Obviously I was still devastated, but yeah, like, I don't know.
Did they pay for your flight over?
Yeah, they cover everything. Yeah. And they had to cover the quarantine, 2 weeks in Sydney.
Oh, they did?
Everything.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
So they should.
Yeah.
So the PFL's the focus at the moment.
Yeah, so what I was getting at with that was PFL is like this opportunity that has come to me now. So obviously I'm absolutely going to take it, and I think it's such a great path for me to go down because the flyweight division is new to the PFL. This is a new division. Everyone's kind of like, what's going to be this division sort of thing. So and the production and how they do everything is so professional. Like, so I'm really excited.
You feel like you're getting in on something from the ground up.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, for me, like the last 2 years, obviously since Contender, I've been wanting to fight and waiting for opponents and having opponents and then pulling out and because I wanted to fight locally again. Obviously, like I want to fight Australia and I want to get my experience back and get my confidence back from that loss. But it's literally been impossible, like 100% impossible for me to get a girl to fight
at your
in
size,
Australia
at your weight,
at flyweight. So
wow,
it's just been the last year I've had 3 camps for someone and nothing's happened. Nothing's eventuated.
Must be hard to stay motivated.
Yes, I've had my moments of just demotivated. There's no goal here. Yeah. Like I need to fight and I literally can't, it's like they're handcuffing me. They're like, you can't fight. Like, but I've never been like, I'm going to give up. That's never come through my head, like I should probably stop this sport now because I can't get a fight. That's never happened.
What did that Canadian girl get you with, though, in that Contender fight? She
wasn't Canadian. That was the first girl.
Sorry, the one I fought, where was she from?
She was from the States somewhere.
Okay, so she's American. But what did she get you with? Like,
ground and pound.
What was hard about her?
Wrestling.
Was she strong or wrestling?
Wrestling.
She wasn't long. Was she long as well?
No.
Okay.
Same height.
Same height.
Yeah.
Okay. Same reach.
The thing with her name was Victoria. So, like I said, in the 3 weeks up to the fight, all of her past fights, I'm like, oh, she's just striked. She's a striker. Like she hasn't actually initiated wrestling in her previous fights that I saw.
Right.
So it wasn't like she's a wrestler.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's a wrestler.
Yeah.
I need to prepare myself for a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's not what it was like. So when we got into the fight, and she was heavy. Okay. She was heavy. Like, we weighed in.
Strong.
We weighed in, and like you weigh in at 57, you're gaunt and you're dying. But then when we got into the cage, she looked completely different.
Okay.
I was like, she's put on a little weight.
In a couple of days.
In 24, 32 hours.
Amazing.
So that got to me because as soon as I walked in, I just looked at her and she didn't look like the same person. Like she was just real big. And then, first round, I'm staying long, just striking, doing my thing. I got taken down in the first round, got back up, just slid back up on the cage. Cage fought a little bit, reversed her. Okay, that was all right. That was okay. But I did get taken down and she was just heavy on top of me. Went back after round 1. By the way, like the other thing is the pressure of the situation got to my head a lot.
Hell yeah!
Like it was like a pressure cooker. Like I was like, okay, and it was so silent. Yeah. So we were like getting ready for that fight. You're out the back, you're warming up. There's cameras filming your warm up. Then they'd go out, and then someone came in and was like, okay, I'll tell you when we're walking. It'll be 10-second count, and we're walking. And I'm like, where? Yeah. And they're like, out. You're walking out in like 20 seconds. And I was like, oh. And I'm still like, there was just no
music either. There's no walkout music.
Nothing. So I was like, okay. So I wipe my hands, have a drink. And then she opens the door and there's like all cameras there. Yeah. And she's counting 10, 9.
It's the producer.
8. 7. And then I'm like, and the lights on the camera, it's just blinding. And then she's like, walk. So then think about all these cameras in front of you walking backwards and you're just walking into the cameras.
And you don't really know where you're going.
I don't know where I'm going. There's no walkthrough before. Like, you don't know where you're going. And then I remember we get to the door. We get to this massive door. Okay, just stand there. Just wait. I'm like, what's this door? Yeah. I thought we were still walking, like, to another area. Opens the door and there's the cage. Oh. And there's Dana White and Mick Maynard. Yeah. And I was like...
And who was in your corner? Just your dad?
My dad. And then we had Mark Fiore, who was a coach over in the States that we, years ago when I fought Muay Thai, came to the Gold Coast and did a seminar, and he's trained like some epic UFC fighters. That's how we connected. So we reconnected and asked him if he could corner me for Contender while we're over there.
Oh, okay.
So So Mark and my dad was in my corner, and I just remember the doors opening, and I was like, oh my God. I wasn't ready for that to be the cage right there behind the doors. So anyway, I walk and a pin could drop. An actual pin could drop because there was no one there and there was no music and there was just cameras and just silence. And she's already in the cage because she walked before me.
Oh.
So then I get vassed down and, you know, I'm like, okay, come on. And I that moment I knew I just felt heavy. Like, you know,
So
when
you knew then.
my legs felt heavy.
So you had like an adrenaline dump.
Oh yeah. Before you started the fight. So there was not like I could, you know, you get an adrenaline dump in a fight and you can push through and get your second win and shit. This happened before I even got in the cage.
Wow.
So I'm standing there and I could feel, and I walked up the stairs to the cage and it was like walking with cement on my legs. Like that's how heavy I felt. And anyway, and I'm in this moment, I'm trying to get my mind to override my body right now. Obviously, like I'm like, come on, you're good. Just fire up, let's go. Like, and I reckon my dad would have picked up. Like he's trained me for so long, he would have picked up that I was like actual shitting myself. It's never happened to me before a fight before. That was the other problem. Like people are like, I don't get nervous. Yeah, there's nerves before a fight, obviously, but I am a super calm person before a fight. I'm not like here, there and everywhere. I'm very chill. I just wait and I walk out chill and I'm smiling. That's the other thing. I like smile a lot when I'm walking out. Like I'm like in my zone. Contender, there was like no smile. I was just like so straight faced when I walked to the cage. And I remember when I got home, we had on the Gold Coast 80 plus people in a local pub watching my fight on
like a watch
TV,
party,
a watch party back home. And when I got home...
I was there just saying.
Were you really?
Yeah. And when I got home, like Jake, my S&C coach, a lot of people said, something was up when you walked out. You didn't look the same as what you did, what you usually do.
It's just there was so much build up and you went through so much just to get there.
And then when I was there, it was like, holy shit, I'm here. I'm actually here.
And it all happened so quick.
So quick.
And unfamiliar.
So unfamiliar. And I just, round one, got through that, went back to the corner.
Kept it on the feet?
Kept it on except for that one takedown.
So she took you down once in the first round?
Got back up, but it was on the feet majority.
Did you start going, hang on a second, she's shooting for takedowns?
Yeah.
Then did that kind of surprise you as well? Like, oh shit, I wasn't really...
Yeah, it surprised me. It shouldn't have, because I should have thought, people are always going to be hesitant to strike with me because it's my background.
Yeah.
Right? But I just, because I didn't think about it before the fight, I wasn't expecting it. So after round one, I went back and I just remember sitting in the seat again, feeling so heavy and lethargic already. And I'm like, my prep, even though my prep was 6 months long, I felt the fittest I've ever felt. Like I was like in the best shape. I was like, Get back after round one and I was just like a slump in the chair. I wasn't even looking at Dad. And Dad's just like, Chelsea, like, focus, look at me, focus. Like he knew that I wasn't there. Like I just was somewhere else. I didn't hear really anything he said. And then I get up, ready for round two, and I'm just doing my same, striking, keeping it long. I was winning the striking exchanges. Yeah. Kicking a lot, cool. And then round two, it would have been 3 minutes in. I've hit her with a heavy right hand, and then blood started coming out of her nose. She was steady, like she was unsteady on her feet. She took a few steps back, and I was like, this is it. Like, I can finish her now. Like, this is it. She's gone. So I just came in with, like, a flurry of shit. Yeah. None of it landed. Into her guard because she was just like trying to recover. And I threw like 10 punches into her guard, and then she just put both arms out of desperation, pushed me up against the cage and just held me there.
Okay.
And then took me down. She was recovering there, and I was trying to stay on my feet. Didn't reverse her because I just blew my fucking gas on 10 punches. And then she took me down, and then she got her into mount and just started wailing these punches.
So she got you on your back?
Yeah, I'm on my back, and she's just laying on me. sitting on me, and I'm trying to hip escape. I'm trying to get to half guard. I'm trying to move, and she's so heavy. I could not move her. And her punches, she wasn't just tapping the ground and pounding, like she was loading up these shots. And Mark, the ref, so there's 20 seconds to go, because I heard him say 20 seconds, and I said, I just need to keep wriggling. I need to keep moving to make it look like I'm okay.
Okay.
So I just kept trying to do small movements, and Mark, the ref, was like, you got to move, you got to show me something, you've got to fight, you got to move. So I'm trying to do small movements to survive until the bell. 20 seconds.
Yeah.
There would have been 8 seconds to go, and he called it. And I was,
damn it.
and I just sat there, and I was just like my world had come apart. Like,
no.
I just cried. I was like, ugh.
In the ring?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I cried in the ring. No, I didn't. So, because I remember getting, Victoria won and all that, and I was just looking down the whole time.
Yeah.
And then as I've walked back to the change room, I started crying.
See, this is a unique experience. Most people aren't going to experience a defeat.
In front of the world.
Of that nature, of that context.
Yes.
Wow, what a great learning lesson.
Oh, huge.
Like, you should be so grateful for that, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I am now.
Are you?
I absolutely am now, because I don't think, like, a lot of my resilience and, what do you call it? Like, when I say if it's not broke, you don't fix it. So in the gym, you're always doing things on your terms and doing things to your strengths, right? Because you're like, this is my world, this is my game, this is how I fight. But that experience was like, okay, now in training, it's like, that's where I can fail. That's where I need to fail, right? I need to fail in the gym and be pushed through my weaknesses to be a better fighter and to not have it happen in a fight. So it's like, I don't think, everyone says that, if you don't lose, those things don't change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't lose, those things don't change.
Yeah.
It's a great way to, like, shift the perspective on things, on life. But it translates, so much of what you're talking about just translates to life.
Yeah.
And I just think it's like, these are really good messages for anyone.
Yeah.
And they can apply it to how they're approaching their life right now. So,
Oh, absolutely. It's not just fighting. It's definitely anything in life.
so gnarly, though.
Yeah, that was just such an experience.
Yeah. But, like, I know that you, you said you got into fighting early, and, from those days of, like, car park Chinese street fighting with your dad, like, you've then gone on to, like, a Muay Thai career fighting. And we can talk about that if you like. But what I'd like to tap into a little bit is, how you've been able to sustain a living throughout pursuing your dream.
Yes.
Which is, it's got to be the hardest thing, whether you're a fighter. And I talk to surfers and skateboarders that go through the same thing.
Absolutely.
And I've had a friend who was a professional, one of my best friends actually, he was a professional downhill skier for many years, Australian, and he had to live in Europe and no job and, just hustling.
Yeah.
And did it for years. So, like, how are you hustling to keep this going?
So I have I have a business and a full-time job outside of fighting.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, I knew, because I started fighting really early, and I was fighting professionally in Muay Thai when I was at school. I knew from a very early age that fighting was my future and my career, and it's something I wanted that to be my job.
Yeah.
So when I was at school, I remember I was in grade 11 and I really wanted to leave school, not finish grade 12, and I wanted to. So my mum, just to go off context, my mum was a travel agent. My mum and dad owned a travel agency, but on the side she would train women. So in the afternoons she would do classes, women's fitness classes. So after school I would go to the gym, and because Chinese boxing ended up in a gym. We moved from the car park to a gym.
I don't think it should have. I should have stayed in the car park.
It should have stayed in the car park. So my mum started doing classes in the gym as well. So I would watch her teach, and I was like, fuck yeah, that's such a good job, like just yelling at girls. She was so good at it too. So when I was at school, I was like, okay, I really want to just get my certificates to train people, because with in mind that I could train around training people.
Yeah.
So I can train whenever I want. I can work around my training, and this would be a very sustainable way for me to support myself. You know, you're not making big money, but support myself while I'm trying to pursue this career in fighting. Yeah. So, you know, if I was sitting at a desk 9 till 5 and could only train once a day, that would be a major problem.
I just could not imagine you doing that.
I'd be like, I need to walk. I need to go somewhere. Like, I'm just too antsy. So I knew at 16, so I would have been 16, grade 11, okay, I'm going to get my certs. It's not going to take long, and then I'm just going to start teaching at the gym. Like, I'll take mum's job over. I'll just steal mum's clients, which is what I did.
Did you?
Yeah. She became my client, and she still is.
Way.
Yeah. So this is what was funny. I sat down with my parents, like, towards the end of grade 11, and I brought this to the table. This, like, grand idea about me pulling out of school.
Yeah.
And studying my Cert 3 and 4 in fitness to then just train people, hold pads, teach them martial arts, Muay Thai, and then I can fight and train more.
And what did they say?
No.
What?
They were like, absolutely not. This was the initial, right? Like, no, oh my God, you can't pull out. Like, no, like, that was just not that's not right. Everyone needs to finish school. You need to do what you need to do. They said, of course, after grade 12, you know, you don't have to go to uni if you don't want to. Like, you can do what you want, but just finish school. And I was like, fine, one more year, I'll be right. And I reckon it was like a week later, they sat me back down and they're like, fuck it. If you want to do it, 100%. Do it.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm a high school teacher.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cop shit for saying this, but I don't give a fuck. I think more kids should leave school earlier. Yeah, I think
that's
that
so good.
I see a lot of young people, especially from like grades 10 to 12,
yes.
they're losing a couple of years. They need to get out and get started.
Yes.
And if they've got a passion to pursue, like even better,
absolutely.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I think these days too, like if they want to go to university later on, there's all different ways to
100%.
access. It's not like the old school way of like, oh, the only way you're going to get to uni is through getting a good high school result. Those days are done.
Yes.
You know, there's so many different pathways now. And, like I said, I see a lot of young people wasting.
Yeah.
They're losing years.
Absolutely.
Because, and like you said, the school, you know, institution and structure is just, it's not relevant for so many young people.
I know.
It's archaic and it's still not changing. They're sort of trying.
Yeah.
And it's just becoming more and more apparent.
For sure. No, that's so good to hear and refreshing to hear too. But I also knew that I couldn't go to my parents in this situation and be like, I want to pull out because I want to train all day, every day.
Yeah.
So if I go back, grade 11, so in grade 9 and 10, I went to Langkawi, Malaysia and Bangkok, Thailand for the World Championships in Muay Thai while I was in grade 9 and 10. So I actually took a lot of time off school in those years to fight. And mum and dad were always supportive of that. They're like, this is what you want to do it. The school was actually really supportive of it as well. So those years, I actually wouldn't start school until 11 a.m.
Right.
Because I would train before school. So there was a class 9:30 to 10:30. I would have a shower, go to school, leave at 3 and then train in the afternoon. So year 9 and 10, that was what was happening.
Yeah.
So I know they knew sort of it was coming, but I also knew that I couldn't, like my parents are like such workhorses, always like they were, like always have been. I knew I couldn't just sit down and be like, I want to pull out of school and just train all day and not have a job. Like I just knew that
yeah.
They would not support, like I can't do that right now. So that's why I came with the idea of I want to drop out of school to study to become a trainer. You know how I went about that? Like, I just went around, you know, I'm going to work, but I want to train.
Yeah.
So,
because that's the only way they let you leave school is if you're going to study.
Yeah, they wouldn't have let me leave if I wasn't going to study. And they said that. They're like, as soon as you leave, you go straight to HPC, Human Performance Centre. It was like an 8-month course. You're going there 3 times a week. I was working in a cafe 2 days a week. You do that and then you train around that. Yeah. I was like, cool. So the fact that they were so for that, after saying no, I was like, yes, great. So all my friends were in grade 12 and I finished my studies. And actually, while I was studying, I got a job at a 24-hour gym.
Oh, wow.
Teaching classes and working on reception.
Okay.
That started me really well because a lot of my clients to this day came from that gym 7 years ago.
Is that how you poach your clients, Michaela?
She's not allowed.
I'm not allowed to do that.
So you PT within a gym as well? Yeah.
Yes. So I can only train the clients that are in the gym. I can't take them out of the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good,
but I can train people on the side that have nothing to do with the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
There you go. So that's what you were doing.
See, what happened was I was doing that for about 3 years. I was working at this gym.
Yeah. So once you quit, then they started to find you.
No. So what happened was I started HammerFit while I was at this gym. So I was teaching.
Is that what it's called?
HammerFit, yeah.
Cool.
So I was teaching classes at 24-hour gym, but HammerFit was at our gym, the Wise Force Chinese boxing gym. And I took over Mum's girls. Mum started training in the group, so I was training her.
Yeah.
Girls that were doing my classes at the 24-hour gym were also coming to HammerFit.
Epic.
Yeah, epic, right? Until on the third, so I was doing that for about, I reckon, a year, maybe 2 years. And then the owners of the gym started to click on what was going on. But I was bringing numbers. Like I had the busiest classes in this 24-hour gym, right? No other trainer had them.
Yeah.
Wasn't my problem. I'm so good. Like, fuck off. Like,
You shine too bright.
right? So they came to me one day and they said, look, you running HammerFit is like a complete conflict of interest because we know that, because I was posting photos. So they're like, we know that our members are coming to HammerFit. I was like, what's the problem? They're coming here as well. They still have a membership here as well. And they're like, well, because if anything happened to you and you left, like, they'll all follow you. I was like, again, can't help, I'm good.
Yeah. You should have been like, let's collab, come on.
Yeah,
you know?
so because I was kind of getting sick of that situation and HammerFit I wanted to focus on HammerFit. So I wasn't mad about this conversation happening because that was kind of my out. So I remember saying, oh, honestly, if it's a problem, I'm out. But I knew that they would not do that because of the numbers I was bringing into the classes. If they lost me, like, that was going to be bad for them. So, like, then they said, okay, no, like, how would you feel about signing a contract?
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, what's going to be in the contract? And they were like, well, you can only train Globe members. Yeah. So I said, yeah, but you know what that means? You would have to tell those members to not come to me.
Yeah.
And you know what they're going to do? Cancel their membership and come to me.
Yeah.
Because you're telling them they can't do what they want to do.
Yeah.
People can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I said to them, I'm not standing in a class saying, guys, I've got a HammerFit class on tonight. Let's go. I was never, ever advertising HammerFit at that gym.
Yeah.
They were just asking me. They would come to me and say, what class have you got on tomorrow? Or like whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you a 5:30 class. But they're approaching me. So I told them that. And then they were like, okay, don't worry about it. So then that was it. So I was still working there. And then it just got, like, the relationship just got shit. So after a couple of weeks, I just left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they try to pull out a contract. So it's like they're trying to restrict you.
100%.
But again, like, a good message here is it's like, you know, when you do something with passion and conviction, you know, people are going to follow.
100%.
And that's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter if it's being the best personal trainer you can be, best dishwasher you can be. Like, I just think that's when whatever you do it really well.
Yes.
I mean, is that just been a constant underlying theme of your life?
Absolutely.
See, that's epic.
Because I go in with if I'm doing something, I'm doing it 110%. I'm in it. I'm not like half or, you know, when I'm teaching, I'm like so passionate about teaching. When I'm fighting and training, I'm so passionate about that. So that's always been me. And a lot of people are like, they look at HammerFit and they look at like the girls that I have and like, how do you keep the consistency? Like, how do you keep the girls coming back? And I'm like, I never have to I've had the same girls since I started HammerFit. Like, that's like 7 years they've been training with me. Like, and a lot of them every morning they wake up at 5 a.m. and train with me.
Wow.
In the classes for 7 years. And I'm like, I'm passionate about what I do. I care. And like, and I'm good at programming.
Are you?
Yeah, I put some hectic sessions
Well,
together.
because then people are getting results,
Exactly.
and that's what keeps them coming back, for sure.
The good thing about it is, like, mum's like my mascot. Like, as in, people are like, oh my God, how does your mum look so good? Because she's like 53 and no word of a lie, we go to the shops and everyone thinks we're sisters.
Yes.
Yeah, we like come across as, like, ask Michaela.
She is one hot mum. She is on fire.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm so inspired by those people. Like, I look at, like, older guys who are really fit and strong.
Yeah.
I'm like that's for me. That's the long game now. I'm in it for the long game.
Yes.
And, like, imagine being a really strong 50-plus-year-old.
Oh, she's a beast. So people, like...
And she feels good.
And she feels good. So, yeah, when people come to me, it's like, oh, my God, your mum looks so good. Like, I want to look like her. It's like, cool, come to my classes. Like, that's what she does.
It's so good.
So good.
Wow. Hey, listen, how did you end up on that TV show Survivor?
Oh, here we go. It actually, my manager... I met with my manager straight after the Vegas fight, actually. So we were in quarantine for 2 weeks, and then just before we flew back to the Gold Coast, I had coffee, caught up with Reese, and he was just like, I've got something for you. And I thought it was another fight. And I was like, oh, can you just wait? I've just had the worst fight of my life. Like, I just need, like, more than 2 weeks. And he was like, no, it's actually a TV show. And I was like, oh, what? Like, and all I could think about was, like, a dating show or just some weird shit. And I was like, no, I'm not going on that, obviously. Like, I've got a partner and whatever. And then he was like, it's Survivor, Australian Survivor. And I was like, oh. And I've never really followed Survivor. I've watched maybe one season. And I was like, actually, that could be cool because it's real physical and it's and mental. Like, they try and break you and you're doing lots of physical challenges. And I was like, maybe this could be really cool to do. And I think the timing of it was perfect for me because I just come off, a loss and I was really down and just mopey and depressed.
Yeah.
And this could be something short-term to, like, look forward to and take my mind off fighting a little bit. Like, okay, maybe I do need a bit of a break and let's do something that's still really challenging but completely wayward for me and different. Yeah. So I said yes. That was in December 2020. And then filming started in April 2021.
So it was all during COVID lockdown stuff?
Yeah.
Where was it filmed?
Cloncurry, which is 2 hours from Mount Isa.
Okay.
Yeah, so just out in hot and cold nights.
Really?
Hot days, cold nights.
Desert.
Because it's inland.
Literally a desert.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So the filming started in April and... yeah, everything you see is what it is. I came back and people were like, yeah, you'd shower, like your hair looked nice, or you didn't have hairy armpits. I was like, well, I did, but the camera angle's probably not getting, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, you would shower. Like, just things that you think we go back to a hotel after filming or something.
Was there any massive dickheads on the show?
Yeah, but like...
I mean, I haven't watched it. I want to watch it.
You need to watch it.
Did you put anyone in their place? Or were you just strategizing?
Nah, see, that's the problem with what happened with me was, like, I knew that you had to make alliances and you had to be in a majority, not a minority, because you need the numbers and all that. So I was trying to, like, stay popular in my tribe and be like, hey, let's be friends. Like, but I was never like, I really didn't understand this strategy and, like, the backstabbing and telling someone you're going to save them and then sending them home. Like, that was real hard for me. I was like...
Even though it's a game.
Even though it's a game.
I'd hate that shit.
Yeah, I felt really uncomfortable. And how I saw it was I was on the show for, like, the hardness of it. Like, sleeping in the dirt and eating, like, one handful of lentils a day. And, like...
Did you shred down?
Yeah, I lost, like, 9.5 kilos in, like... 29 days, 30 days.
In a month?
Yeah.
Less than a month?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was hectic. Like, I was just dying every day. But, so I wasn't there to play the game. That was the problem. Like, I went into it like physical challenges. I'm super competitive. I want to beat the other tribe. I want to beat that person. Yeah. And then when it came to, like, snobbing on someone and sending them home, I was just like,
or even just, when you when they then make you sit out and they ask you questions and they really want you to bitch about your teammates or something. Like you found that really hard, hey?
Yeah, so they would do interviews on like the days you weren't doing challenges, and they would pull you away and ask you questions to fish out, like you need to start pretty much talking shit about someone. So to be like, so the way that so-and-so acts in the mornings, does that annoy you? Or like just make you talk shit because it's good television, right? So
I've got to ask, like, were the producers cool or were they kind of dickheads, like the people running the show?
Oh, some of them were really cool. Some of them were so cool. Some of them were just there to get dirt on everyone. Like it was the one thing I struggled with a lot of things, but like struggled with everything, but one of the things was the cameras are on you 24/7. So even at night, there's night crew, and then we didn't have showers, obviously, so you had to wash yourself in like a billabong, like a pond, a dirty pond. Yeah. And you would say to everyone, I'm going to shower in this pond, so they would leave you, like as in the tribe wouldn't come. Yeah. Give you some privacy, but the camera crew would follow you.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Just in case you said something about someone. And
so you couldn't get any privacy?
No. So obviously, like 2 weeks into it, I kind of was like, can you guys just give me like 5 minutes? There's no one with me. I'm not going to talk any strategy or game. You don't need to film me bathe myself in a pond. Can you please just give me 5 minutes? And they would go, oh, okay. And then they'd hide up in the rocks or something and then wait and then just...
And they'd still have a camera on, like trained on you?
Yeah, like they would just force cameras on you all the time. So, and the thing with the pond was like you walk in fully clothed. You can't walk in naked.
Yeah. So the
tribe's right there. Like,
so you're bathing like, in your costume.
Because you've got to wash your clothes too. Because what you go into the show with wearing is all you wear for the whole time.
Epic. See, I'd like to do that sort of shit. But I wouldn't like the strategy stuff.
Actually, you'd
I like hard stuff like that.
I think you'd be good.
I'd be the same as you. But as soon as any backstabbing happened,
that's what
I'm too
with.
emotional.
Yeah.
And then I'd end up like being like a highlight reel because Shannon told some dude to fuck off.
But the problem with that,
he's got little man syndrome.
Yeah, and the problem with that was we were so hangry, and everyone was emotional because we could not have any contact with home. We weren't getting sleep. We weren't eating. So everything's heightened, which is what makes good TV. Yeah. So, you would cry at the butt of a fucking eyelid. Yeah. I was just like, I cry. Like, why are you crying?
And they love it. Next thing you know, the cameras are on you because they know that stuff just increases engagement.
Exactly. So, you'd walk into the pond, take your clothes off, wash yourself in the pond, wash your clothes.
You wouldn't take your clothes off. Like, you'd wear them and wash under you. Like, I do that.
You're still submerged in the water and you're washing yourself.
Oh, how annoying.
And then you're washing your clothes and then you got to put your clothes on in the water to walk out of the water.
Oh, how annoying.
Because everyone's around.
Well, the cameramen, I've got a question. What are cameramen like on reality shows? Are they kind of creepy? Are they just like robots?
No, you can't. They're robots. They can't talk to you and you can't talk to them.
So they just look straight through you, sort of thing.
Yeah. If you try to talk to them, they don't reply.
I find mainstream media cameramen, because I've seen some over the years. Yeah. I find them the strangest people.
So the weirdest thing happened before I came here. Me and Mum were shopping, and this guy just like tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Hey, Chelsea," and I was like, "Who are you?" Yeah. Like I just could not recognise him. He's like, how have you been? Like, and I was like, yeah, good, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, I'm so sorry, I'm having the biggest blank. Like, where do I know you from? Yeah. He's like, Survivor. And I was like, what? Wait, where Survivor? What were you doing? And he was like, I was one of the cameramen. Yeah. And I'm like, but that's how, like, camouflaged into thin air they were, because they were literally robots and couldn't talk to you. And I had no idea who he was because I'm like, well, I've never had a conversation with you before. And
but he feels like he knows you because he's looked at you so much.
A month, yeah.
Do you find that, like, because you got, like we were talking about social media before the podcast, like you got quite a, you got a pretty big audience on social media. Yeah. Like, I mean, do you ever have incidents like that where people who just follow you come and approach you and go, like, you don't know them, but they feel like they know you? And
yeah, I've definitely had that. And, it's sometimes I have people come up to me and I'm like, do you know me from Survivor or do you know me as a fighter?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or do they say, I follow you on Instagram?
Or Instagram, yeah. So the funny thing is like little kids would love Survivor and they'd watch it and they kind of like look at, like I've had a couple like look at me and just like their eyes are so open and they're like, well, mum, and they're like tapping their mum like, and then the mum will come up to me. Like that's cute. That's really cute. But it's so, I find it so awkward.
I was going to say, how do you manage that aspect of your life? Like, does it happen often?
Nah, not that often.
Was there a period where it was happening often?
Yeah, I think it depends where I am as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends where I am. There's some weeks I'll have like 4 people in that week like recognise me in different scenarios. I'm like, whoa, so many people have recognised me this week. How weird. And then I won't have anyone for like 2 months and then I'll have... Right. Yeah, so it's weird.
Yeah.
Random.
Okay. Yeah. It's just a strange world we live in. Like everyone's so visible.
I know.
And they're making themselves feel... They're putting themselves in that position. It's like they want to be visible. And they're divulging a lot about their lives, and
but that's actually why I stopped.
So you've slowed down on that?
Yeah.
Why?
So before Contender, I was so heavy on social media, like constantly putting stories up, talking to the camera. Yeah. Super like confident, open, posting all the time. Jake, my partner, has a videography and photography business. So he's amazing on the camera. So he'd do epic content for me. So I'm constantly posting good content, and it was doing really well for me, which is why I got good engagement. And then after Contender, it's like, I was embarrassed for sure about the loss, and it was on the world stage, and I felt like it. When I got home, I honestly felt wherever I went, people knew. And which is it was a shit feeling.
But wasn't necessarily true.
No, it wasn't true at all. It was all in my head.
Oh, interesting.
So I would like walk around the shops and I'm like, people like, okay, it's so weird. But growing up, my parents, everyone taught me like staring's rude. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't stare. That's how I was brought up. Jake, on the other hand, him and his mum stare at everything.
Do they?
Constantly, like just for so long, and I'm just like, it's like it was my pet hate with Jake. It is like he's so much better with it now, I think, being around me more. But at the start, he would just stare at everything, and I was
What do you mean stare at everything? Like people?
People. So
if it was someone who's interested in, like, if it was a famous person, he'd stare at them?
No.
Or just
anyone.
Anyone that was interesting?
Anyone. He would just stare and I'd be like, Jake, like, it's so rude what you're doing. Stop staring at people. Like, why are you actually staring at them? And he would be like, oh, I don't know. Like, it's just, I'm working out who they are and what they're doing in this world. And I'm like, that's so weird. But anyway, I'm the opposite. So I hate staring. So even in the shops, like, if I get eye contact with someone, I look away straight away. And I probably look so awkward when I do it too. Like, I'm just quickly like, don't lock eyes with someone. But one time, because Jake's very aware of people as well, so I really like...
Like he's intuitive? Like he can read a room?
Yeah, and he's just good reading people, I think, as well, and he's got a really good awareness. Before Jake and I got together, I would have zero awareness of my surroundings. I still kind of do, but it's better since him because he makes me aware of, like, you got to be aware constantly of what's going on around you and people around you and all that. I would just, like, not look at people, so I'm just like, I don't care.
This is the question I've got. Like, I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a female, obviously, but it's over the years having girlfriends and going out publicly with them, I've been completely oblivious to how much a female is looked at publicly.
So this is where I'm getting at.
Okay, yeah. And so, like, and then it's only really to take me a long time, but I'd go out with girlfriends and I'd be like, I go out by myself and I don't notice anything. Yeah. Like, no one's looking at me.
Yeah.
But when I go out with the girlfriend, you start to notice eyes turning your direction and you're like, and I've had a few, I'm like, what's that person looking at? And it took me a while to click, they're looking at her. Yeah. And then I've said it to girlfriends in the past and they're like, yeah, like, it's just, you become so used to it. Like, I go everywhere and people will turn and look at me. Yes. I don't know. How do you find...
Yeah, so that's like what I struggle with it a lot.
Okay.
So, because Jake's made me aware of it.
Okay.
So because I'm not a starer and I don't like locking eyes with people, I'll just, if I am there, I'll just walk straight and just ignore everyone. But Jake's made me more aware of like, and now I look for, like, I don't look for it. I'm watching people and how their body language is and how they're looking. And Jake and I just literally get stared at, both of us. Like, and girls always stare at Jake because he's so pretty.
Yeah. Yes,
but
Jake.
and like
go to Jake for the boys, Jake.
And Jake can like feel my energy all the time. Like if a chick's like looking at him, I'm just like, my back's just arching up and I'm just like ready to like just flog her. Yeah.
That chick's got no idea.
Yeah, she has no idea. That's
who she's fucking with.
Yeah, that's why like whenever Jake goes out with the boys or something and he'll come home and there's like a story about a chick at the bar and Jake's always like, she seriously has no fucking idea like what I've got at home. Like she just has no, I'm like, yeah. I love that. I love having that power. But whenever we're at the shops or whatever, I'm now so aware of like people just stare and for a long time and they'll walk past you and just keep looking at you and I hate it. I'm just like, what are you fucking looking at?
What do you think, Michaela? Do you think it's just human nature?
Yeah, I think it is. And like I have had a lot of this experience since living in a van. Because most of the time Jarrett's hiding in the van, you know, on the bed, like doing his stuff on the laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can't really see him, but I'm always outside of the van cooking or doing something. So I get a lot of men pull up next to me and just strike conversation, and then Jarrett will pop his head out of the van and then they're like, oh, yeah, oh, anyway, see you, bye, and then run away.
They fully think you're by yourself.
They fully think that I'm by myself. Yeah. And like most mornings when I'm making the bed in the van, I've really got to I've got to bend over and the back door's open kind of thing. And then I'm just
nice ass hanging out of a van. They're like, oh, who have we got here?
Yeah, constantly getting beeped at, and I'm just like, hey, thanks.
You get beeped at?
All the time, all the time.
Like, I must admit, for most men, I mean, maybe not your boyfriend Jake, because he sounds like he's really good looking, but for most men, we don't have to... We don't ever experience that.
Yes,
you know, and it's very interesting to me. I don't know how I'd personally cope with it, psychologically.
See, girls wouldn't beep at guys.
Yeah, no,
that's not something
weird.
that girls do. So if you saw a hot guy walking along the path, you're not going to toot at them. That's something that guys don't do to girls.
And sometimes I feel funny about it, and other times I'm like, it doesn't affect me at all.
Does it boost your confidence?
No.
Okay.
Nah, it makes sometimes it makes me feel sick.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, well, let's just put that message out to all those creepy motherfuckers.
Stop beeping.
Stop beeping when I'm making the bed.
Butt hanging out of the van.
And I think what's ironic is these dipshits don't realise that they're not. It's not going to help them in that. No. It's not going to they're not impressing anyone by doing that. Like,
no, I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh, come back.
Wave them down.
Oh, did you like my ass? Come back.
Come here. I want to talk to you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just taking some notes here. Okay.
Don't be a creep.
Stop gawking at me.
Stop beeping.
Yeah.
Stop whistling.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't
I think it would
good.
do my fucking head in over time. Constantly. I mean, that's why, for me, I really struggle when I'm in country towns because it's more predominant there. Like, people have more of a tendency just to suss you out. They're like, that's where I've noticed it. Like, men will look you up and down there as well as another man. Everyone's like, I just feel like more eyes are on you, and I don't cope with it well. I actually don't cope with going into busy shopping centres and stuff well either.
Yeah.
And then when I'm in a real chaotic big city, like when I've been to New York or even I'm in Bali, like there's less of that, and I really enjoy it. Like I like being anonymous.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm the same. Yeah. That's kind of where my lack of social media has. That's where it's happened. I'm the same. I love shopping. Don't get me wrong. I'm like a shopaholic, but I don't like shopping centres. Don't like people. Jake loves people watching. I freaking hate getting watched, and I just get weird about it. But that's kind of what. I don't know, everything changed the last sort of 2 years. I just wanted to, like you said, stay anonymous completely and on social media. I wanted to just work and do my thing and not feel obliged to put up, I'm training today, I'm training again today, and here's a photo of my training session. And I just was like, fuck, no one needs to know.
But it's part of the game.
And it's part of the game. That's what I'm struggling with. Like,
and that's what Jamie Mullarkey said recently, because he's a bit of a veteran of MMA.
Yeah.
He had his first pro fight in 2013.
Yeah.
And he's like, these new Instagram fighters that are coming out.
I know.
You know, he called out some dude for UFC 284, and he said that the dude was like, after his Contender Series fight or something, the first thing he did was went to Dana White and said, "Can you follow me on Instagram, Dana?" You know, and he said, "I fucking hate all that shit." But he recognises this as like, you know, you've got this small window to really make something of this and potentially set yourself up for the future. So it's like,
and social media
play the game.
That's the thing, like, you have to, and that's what I need to, like, remember. Like, it's like I was playing it, but, you know, I've had this setback, and I've reevaluated my life and how I feel, you know, and I'm growing, and I'm still young, and I'm like, oh, like, yeah, I don't want to put things out about myself all the time, but I need to grow my platform. And like you said, you do have a really small window to make something of yourself and create an image and a brand behind yourself. And like, it sucks, but fighting in that instance becomes like 30% of the equation, and social media and marketing comes like 70%.
Bullshit.
It's crazy.
Are you serious?
No, yeah, it's crazy. Girls on OnlyFans putting their boobs
fighters.
out.
Yeah.
Fighters.
Like Ebony Bridges.
Like that.
Is she a fighter?
Yeah,
a
yeah,
boxer.
yeah.
I'm going to sound like really naive here, and there'll be a lot of dudes out there that say that I'm bullshitting, but I'm actually a bit confused about how OnlyFans works, and what it is. I'm noticing it's coming up more and more.
Yeah.
Like, I don't watch a lot of mainstream media at all. I sound naive, but like, OnlyFans is when someone can do pornographic.
Yes, that you wouldn't put on Instagram, you can't put on social media.
You have to pay,
and you have to subscribe per month for their images or videos.
Yeah. And anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it. So it could be like,
let's start it up. Terrible Happy Talks.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So then I could, because I'm thinking about ways to make this podcast turn in fucking income. So maybe. So what do I have to do? Just take my shirt off?
Take your shirt off.
Do you reckon people subscribe to that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
All different, you know, poses and stuff like that.
But this is my issue.
Is there a market for short bald men?
Absolutely, there is.
Yes, I'm ready.
But yeah, this is probably like the one thing, being a female right now and what's going on, this is the thing I'm like struggling the most with, because I've had conversations with people, and like I have conversations with Jake about it as well, and people are just like, just seriously, you should start an OnlyFans. Like, you would make so much money.
And what does your boyfriend think?
Like, he'd be
down for it.
He would be down for it, because he knows, he's like, Chelsea, you would make that much money. I'm like, I know, but I could never bring myself to that level.
It's interesting.
Because I want to be known for my fighting.
Yes.
I want to be known for being a fucking epic fighter, female fighter, not, oh, she's a good fighter, but have you seen what she puts out on OnlyFans? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what's fucked up about this world at the moment. I fucking hate it. Like, quality humans that are putting really good content out there, and no one's following them, but then someone makes a page and they're just posting of them in bikinis,
and their followers goes like,
and they
crazy.
get millions of followers, or you know, and then like another thing, because I've been talking to Jarrett a lot actually about social media. Like, it does my head in, and I'm really fucking addicted to it right now. I don't know if they've changed the algorithm.
No, it's addictive.
And I'm just like, and it's killing. It's making me sick.
Yeah, I know.
I'm getting sick, and I'm looking at it, posting. I'm checking who's been looking at my stories, and I'm like,
okay, this is the hole.
What are you doing?
This is the hole that I was in.
It's a hole.
And I know that I'm going to get back into the hole, and I'm trying to not get back into the hole. This is literally it. You're constantly sitting there like, how many views did that get? How many likes did that get? How many people like me? That didn't go very well. And that's what I wanted to get rid of. I wanted to be like, who cares what people think of me and how they view me? Like, I'm just living my own life. But even my mum was like, Chelsea, I think you need to start an OnlyFans.
Bullshit.
She's like, you could just do it for your feet. Literally, just do it for your feet.
So you wouldn't necessarily have to get your gear off.
No. I could do one. I could do one for like fight tips.
Yeah.
You could do an OnlyFans for fight tips and put videos up of fight tips.
Doesn't have to be porn.
No, but it wouldn't go well. It wouldn't go well, because I'd go, guys, I just got an OnlyFans, and everyone would be like, oh, cool, let's check it out. And it's fucking, how you throw a teep.
Why don't you throw teeps in a bikini or something?
Yeah, maybe. But my mum was like, just do it for your feet. Because people are like, I've had emails before, like emails, because my email's connected to my Instagram. Yeah. Hello, Chelsea. Like, I was just wondering how much, I will pay you anything. Just, can you send me like 2 foot pics a month?
Oh my God.
And then I'll feed it and I'll
dudes?
go, they're creepy dudes.
Dudes are weird.
And then Jake's like, go back and ask like how much, and I was like, okay, how much? Like, I put the price and it was like $5,000 or something per month, like something ridiculous. So I was like, let's see what they do. Yeah. And of course I come back like, easy, too easy, and like, just send me a weird account, whatever. And I'm like, no, and I just leave it. But it's like, people, there's definitely a niche for feet, so I could do it.
So weird.
Yeah. I look at feet and those things are fucking ugly. Look at mine. I'm just looking at a cut on my foot right now.
Jarrett, we're gonna do an OnlyFans for Jarrett's
his
feet.
Toes are fucked up.
Yeah, Arthur.
Don't talk so rude about Arthur like that.
Oh, you got a name for his toe?
Yeah,
his name's Arthur because it's riddled with arthritis. So it's like his name is Arthur for sure.
See, another dark side of this.
Yeah, but he's definitely gonna have to get that chopped off one day.
Yeah,
bullshit.
I reckon.
Oh yeah,
but we could probably sell it for a lot.
Yeah, we'll just ship it off to someone.
Yeah, he was showing me his toe the other day, and he's just like, it's from years of kicking shit, kicking people,
and just being broken and then not being fixed, and just constantly being on it all the time.
Yeah.
And, he might just nick it on something, and he's just in hysterical pain, like.
I know, like you said,
it's not good.
Yeah, but how do you push through that?
Mental game, I think.
Again, like this is where I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to block it out.
Yeah, block it out. I was just thinking, like, it's interesting, like your boyfriend, you said that he would be encouraging of you to do that. But I sort of really respect how comfortable he is with himself as a man.
Oh, he is.
That he feels so sure of himself and comfortable.
Yes.
In his masculinity. There's no insecurity there. No. Like, I don't want people looking at my
exactly.
girl. And when I see dudes do that and getting all jealous and protective, like it's, it's
I think just that insecurity is just coming out. Yeah. And like, I can see, like, don't get me wrong, I can see how having a girlfriend put lots of explicit content out to other men that just want to get off on it. Like, that is gross, like, for a partner. So I do get that side of it, but Jake has always been, and he's just super confident, holds himself so well, we were talking about it the other day, being a female in MMA, male dominated, you are rolling like jiu-jitsu with men.
Like, can't get any closer.
You can't get any closer.
Oh, dude, I felt some dude's package the other day. And I was like, and I had a moment in the roll as he's got me, like, as he's on top of me in side control, and he's about to choke me, and he's like, his package rubbed past my thigh. And I just was like, in any other situation, this would be fucking weird.
Yes.
But I'm like, now I just want to breathe,
Yeah.
Just want to breathe it all in.
And this is like what we're talking about, because when you fight, and like for me and like Michaela, you never think about that. That's just not ever. Like, there's no thought that you're literally there to like submit them, get to a control position. Like, it's all professional, and there's not one thought. So, but you can see how, like, if you had, if you weren't in a stable relationship, strong relationship, your partner wasn't that confident, they're a little bit insecure. Like, this is not a sport to like play with. Like, do you know what I mean?
100%.
In a relationship, because that can cause some serious shit if that person isn't confident within themselves and they don't trust you, or that's seriously, there has to be so much respect and trust between you to like allow your girlfriend to do that.
Yeah.
Professionally. So we were talking about the other day, like Michaela and Jarrett, it's never been a problem. Me and Jake, it's never been a problem. Like, it's your job. It's my job. Yeah. It's Jarrett's job. Yeah. It's just, I
want to go back to the OnlyFans thing one more time. I was listening to Theo Von podcast. I don't know if you know who Theo Von is. He's a stand-up comedian. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He's got this podcast called This Past Weekend. And he was interviewing this other famous comedian called Louis C.K., Anyway, they taught, and these guys have been in their craft for many years. Like Louis C.K., he's now in his 50s. He started stand-up comedy when he was 18.
Yeah.
Nothing popped off for him till his mid-40s.
Wow.
But he just grinded and grinded,
Yeah.
and now he's huge, like millionaire. But there was a lot of times throughout that time period where he could have chased that quick buck, and he could have, I guess, for lack of a better term, sold out,
Yeah.
you know, and made some quick money. And Theo Von talked about it, and he said his longevity, sustainability has been contributed to being of service to others, and keeping that at the forefront of everything he does, and maintaining his morals and integrity, and that's what has created longevity.
Yes.
So you can you could get on OnlyFans tomorrow and make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
But you're going to lose some stuff too. It's going to come at a bigger price.
Oh, absolutely. And that's literally like, I just will never dive there. And Rob Whittaker actually says the exact, he put it in the exact same words, because someone was talking about that sort of stuff and whatever, and he's like, if I have to lose myself to sell out, at what cost? Like, it's, well, what am I going to...
You'll just disappear.
I'm going to lose...
You'll become irrelevant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he put it in such good words recently, but... Yeah, it's just like, nah, man. Like, I have committed my whole life to this sport, and the amount of hours in the gym that I've done to get to where I am and to pursue what I want, there is no way I'm going to, like, look for a quicker buck, like you said. And
the knowledge you've gained that you don't know, and the experience that you're gaining, like, I think you need to share that. Share it, get it out there, and if you're going to do stuff like posts and stuff around sharing what you're learning and training tips and experience tips and inspiring people that way, that's going to sustain you
absolutely
much more.
Yeah,
you know, it's the investment.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you don't even realise how much. I mean, you don't even realise how much you're learning. You know, I sort of get it with the podcast sometimes. Like, I have a lot of people reach out to me saying, "Oh, how do I start a podcast? Like, you know, and what do I need, and what equipment do I need, and how do you get it on the platforms, and rah rah rah." And at first, I was all like, "I'm not telling you my shit." Fuck off. And then again, me and Jarrett were talking about it the other day, and Jarrett's really good at it. It's just like, people ask me, I tell them everything.
Yeah,
I'll tell them everything.
He's
Let's
so
go.
good at that.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
Like, and I just like being of service to others. And I just have to keep reminding myself, because like you, like I'm getting really fucked up by social media at the moment. I have to keep reminding myself, why am I doing this? Like, I started to be of service to get people like you and your message out to others, so that might help them on their journey. So anyway.
No, you're so right. And like, that's kind of where I've lost myself in my social media a little bit. Like, I'm being selfish, as in, I'm just like, which you have to be. It's a sport of like, it's ask Michaela. Ask Michaela. She's at the front line of this sport with Jarrett. Like, I know, and now me, because we say that Jarrett and I are her kids, because she just literally, before we leave the house or the van, she's like, "Have you got your drink bottle? Have you got mouth guard? Where's your gloves?" Like,
she's got Jarrett, the full maternal vibe.
She seriously does. Literally ask Michaela. Like, it is such a selfish sport.
Yes, it is, but it's in like the best way. Yeah. It's I'm sure you're doing it not just for yourself, but it's so you can set up a life for you and Jake too. Do you know what I mean? Yes. It's being selfish for a good reason. It's not just like, this is my life, you don't matter, nothing else matters, and this is what I want to do. Like, it's always like, I know Jarrett's really driven because he wants our life to be something so beautiful and not have to have worries of money and all these things. So he's like solely doing it, one, because he loves it like nothing else, but two, because he wants our life to be beautiful kind of thing. So I'm like, it is selfish because it takes up a lot of our time, and our life kind of depends on his fighting. Like, I've sort of just got to go with the flow a lot, but I know that he's doing it for me too. Which is different.
For a bigger purpose.
It's so good to get that perspective. But what a journey, what a legacy. Like,
but that's the thing, like, not everyone can have that perspective. Like,
it's true.
Michaela is literally like, I seriously say to Jared all the time, I'm like, Jared, you don't know how lucky you are to have someone like Michaela, because there's so much in this sport, like, and I'm the same, like, I'm so lucky to have Jake because I just honestly don't, like, it is in this day and age so hard to have a relationship if you're in this sport.
Imagine.
It's kind of impossible unless you have someone like Michaela and Jake who literally bat for you every single day, every goal, everything they do is in support of you. Like, you know, Jake has his amazing successful business and his goals and his passions, which I love, which is great, but he's just like so supportive of me at the same time. So like, yeah, I always say to Jared, like, bro, we're fucking lucky.
I think it's the involvement too, though, because I'm always so curious of other women that are dating a fighter, because I'm so heavily involved in Jarrett's career, and you know, I'm one of his main training partners too, because I'm constantly holding pads at odd hours of the night. He's like, I need to drill this, can I try this? And I'm the dummy that's always there.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are other female partners like when their partner wants to drill something? Are they just like, fuck off? Or are they just, I just don't know. I don't really see many that are fully involved in it, and they understand the sport, they get why they're doing it.
Yeah.
They kind of just live their own life. And I'm like, I don't know how that really works, because this sport kind of needs both of you to be in it.
Yeah.
Really does need. And Jake's in it, and he does so many things with you.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, those ones that don't, I don't know, how do they do it?
Yeah. Like Jake, me and Jake never drill. There's a reason for that. I'll sometimes be like, can you just lay on your back for a sec? Like, I just need to try something. And he's always like, Chelsea, I'm going to hurt you, because Jake is really big.
Big boy.
He's a big boy. He's like 110 kilos.
Yeah.
But fit, not fat.
So fit, full of muscle.
Dude.
Yeah, got the nicest ass too. I always say that. I'm just like, he's got the best ass.
I'm going to follow him on Instagram.
Oh, you have to. Yeah. So, yeah, Jake and I aren't good drilling partners because of that reason. But that's why I have my dad, obviously.
You just objectified your boyfriend publicly. Oh, my God.
No, well, I want to drill with him. So it's funny because when Jake and I first met,
do you think dudes mind being objectified? Because you get objectified. You got objectified when you're making the bed. Do you think he minds being objectified?
No, probably not.
No.
I wonder how many dudes are listening going, I'd love to be objectified.
Yeah. And then like when we started dating, it was through jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Like, so
while you were rolling?
This is the funny story.
Oh my God.
This is a funny story. So we actually met at that 24/7 gym I was working at when I was 15, 16.
Epic.
That's when we first met. He was 20. I had a boyfriend. He had a girlfriend. He'd always come in with a girlfriend. He was a bodybuilder. He was a bodybuilder for a few years. So he was just like training bodybuilding, and I would work on reception and be like, hey, real basic, like no more time. We've got partners, whatever. And I'm so young. I'm like 15. So I would like clean the gym and like walk up and down, and he'd just like be lifting like big weights. And sometimes I'd look at him and he's like posing in the mirror, like doing his bodybuilding. Yes, Jake. I was doing his bodybuilding. He'll actually hate that I'm talking about this, but it's part of our story. Anyway, and I just remember being like, oh my God, like, yeah, it's just like, that's just what bodybuilders do. They're posing and they're training hard, whatever. And so then he left about a year. Yeah, he left the gym a year or 2 years later. And then I stayed there. And then, so there's 4 years. Yeah, we saw each other again when I was 19.
Yeah.
So 4 years. We were at the casino at the Star. And I was with some girls, and then he is like 80 metres away, and he just like spots me, and he's like, Chelsea, like, and so then we reconnected there, like after like 4 years, and he was with his bosses who ran a jiu-jitsu gym. Yeah, so then he was just doing his own thing, and I was talking to his bosses about training at their jiu-jitsu gym. That was a Saturday night. So then I went there on the Monday, and Jake is there rolling, go there on the Tuesday, Jake's rolling. Still nothing, like I'd roll with him a couple of times, and I was just there to do jiu-jitsu as I am. I never think about anything else when I'm training. And then I was sponsored by Prana Protein at the time. So then the following Monday, I had a photo shoot at their HQ. So I rock up in the morning, I open the door, and Jake's there. And we just looked at each other, and I was like, what are you doing here? And he's like, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm I'm doing a photo shoot. He's like, well, I'm your photographer.
No way.
Yeah.
Universe, man.
So we were doing a shoot for 6 hours, and then that night he messaged me and was like, can we go out for dinner on Friday night? And I was like, oh my God, this guy that I freaking met like 4 years ago. And then, we just got along so well, and almost 5 years later.
Good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it funny how the universe puts people in your life when it's time?
He always says to people, like, when we talk about it, he's like, yeah, like there was chemistry when we were rolling. And I was like,
see, that's crazy.
I'm there to roll, bro. Yeah. I don't fucking feel anything. He's like, yeah, I had her on top of me. I was like, there was nothing on my side because I was there to train. But anyway.
Surely that's a jiu-jitsu, like, code of, like, there's never chemistry when you're rolling. Like,
never.
That's got to be like an unwritten rule. Like, there's never.
No, there's never. Like, when
and you can't even, and if there is, you don't talk about it.
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But even now, like, I'm like, Jake, I felt nothing. There's never anything when I'm rolling except for don't get submitted and fucking
how can I
defend yourself.
Defend yourself, yeah.
Yeah. What's it? Because, like, I'm fairly new to jiu-jitsu. Like, I've always sort of more been into striking. I'm not really a fighter, but I've done a lot of boxing over the years.
You just don't
and
like
Muay Thai.
rolling with ball sacks in your face.
Yeah, it's awkward. But what's the one where they like choke you, but they've got your arm
Head
up?
arm choke.
Head arm choke.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate those the most.
Yeah.
I'd rather get like a rear naked choke, like straight choke, than having my arm.
Yeah, because you're squashing yourself. You're just
It's like, okay, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I'm choking myself.
But it's just like you get really claustrophobic leading up to it, you know? Like, at least if you're getting straight choked, it's like, oh, well, I'm going out soon real quick.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of people, when they roll, especially early days, they say that. They're like, how can you do it? It's so like, I feel so claustrophobic. I'm so close. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Just do it.
It's tough, man. It's tough. Whew. How you feeling?
Good.
Hot?
Yeah, it's hot in here.
Yeah, I know. I have to keep all the doors shut for noise because, like, I swear to fucking God, every time I do a podcast, someone's going to spark up a lawnmower or a fucking leaf
Especially
blower.
on a weekend.
Leaf blowers, man. I hate
We've
them.
been on a good
run.
run.
Oh, my God.
We have.
Yeah, so I'm too scared to open the doors. I'll turn the aircon on for that background noise. Yeah. I guess I just sort of want to go into one more thing and just... I ask all guests to come to the podcast with a cause they want to support or advocate for, something I've done since the very start. Just, again, it's driven by a feeling of wanting to give people the opportunity to be of service to the world in some way. So what do you got for us?
So I used to do some work with Act for Kids
What is that exactly?
So Act for Kids is where kids in school holidays can go and they can stay at this sort of camp where if they've got, abusive parents or drug addict parents and stuff, they can be sort of with like-minded kids and have good carers, and they do lots of activities. They're just really good in that sort of aspect. So we, for 2 years actually, every sort of second school holidays, I would do self-defense seminars with these kids. So they would come to the gym and it would be like a 2-hour thing, and I would just literally teach them real basics on how to defend themselves and how to be confident and strong. And so I did some work with Act for Kids, and I think that's just a great, such a good space for kids to come out of that toxic environment that they're in and just have fun and be a kid, because they can't be a kid.
So many kids lose their childhood just because they're having to survive horrendous situations at home.
So these great people that, help these kids, they try and give them activities that are, like what I was doing, empowering and making them feel really confident and strong, within themselves. So, I would definitely keep supporting Act for Kids. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll put a link to that in this episode's show notes. So scroll down, click on it, and find out how you can either be involved. I always think giving your personal time and supporting something is the best way. But at the very least, if there's a way to donate, go and donate to that as well. For sure. So thank you. And I ask all guests this, because it's kind of a new thing I'm asking people, because I was saying to Jamie in my last episode how, as you get older, people start to pass away and you start having to go to a lot of funerals. It's just a reality of life, circle of life. Yeah. And I was sitting through some eulogies, listening to people reflecting on others' lives, and it made me start to wonder, what am I here for, and like what do I want to be remembered for? You know, and I just want to ask you that, like, what do you want your legacy in this life to be, and like what do you want to be remembered for?
I think I want to, like, I've always wanted to, like, inspire young girls, and it's something that girls have often reached out to me, especially when I have been more consistent on social media. I have in the past had a lot of young girls that want to get into the sport or want to feel more confident, and, you know, just all of just what it is to be a strong female, like, and how they've looked up to me and I've inspired them in that process. So for me, I just want to continue to, like, create this path with everything I do to, like, have that path for them as well. Like, you know, you can be successful in a super male-dominated sport and make, you know, a name for yourself, and know that you belong there is huge as well, because, like, I can just see so many females, you know, they walk into an environment like that, and like you said, it is so intimidating. So to know that you belong and you are wanted and you deserve to be there just as much as a male in this sport is massive. So I just want to continue to have that legacy, just for younger females to know that they always have a place in whatever they want to pursue.
Yes, Knuckles. Yes. Fuck, I love that. Thank you. Because I'm a surfer, and I mean, I see it in the surf all the time. Like, it's a male dominated, and, you know, there'll be a crowded lineup, and there's like one girl in the lineup, and I often think, and then like, no one's giving her waves, and they're paddling around her.
Yeah.
And I think, man, it must be so intimidating.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it's like, but fuck it, get out
100%.
there.
Because through that you build everything, and you build resilience to it. And now, like you said, because that was one of your first questions, like, how do you feel? And it's like, it's not something I feel anymore, and I don't think about it, because I have had so many instances where I've just had to literally just push through those situations of, if those thoughts when I was younger, they definitely, like, when I was 14, 15, 16 fighting, and I'm still maturing as a young girl, and, like, you know, all of that, going through freaking hormones and everything, it's like I had stages where I was like, oh, like, this is really hard, like, these guys are just going crazy, you know, that I'm not up to their level, like, just so many, there's self-doubt things that creep into your head. You're like, I'm not as good as them, I'll never be as good as them because I'm female. Like, those, of course you're going to think those things, but now I've obviously had the experience, and I've been in the sport long enough to never have them come through. So when I've had girls in the past message me saying that, how do they get through, because they're going through what I went through, like, mentally, like, it's really hard, like, and they're asking me how I sort of keep going and how I still pursue it. And I literally tell them, like, you have to just show up every day. Just show up every day, and every day will get better. And that's literally all I've done. Just show up. Best. Tell us about, like, just where can people watch your fight in the PFL? Like, when's it on? How can they access it? So PFL fight will be February 24, which is is it a Saturday here? Yeah, it will be a Saturday here, and it will be sometime before midday. So is that a Friday in America? Friday in America. It is on something called Fubo TV, which, look, I have to work out how to use it here because it says it's not working in this region. Okay. So I will definitely put the link up on my Instagram, and there'll be a link for people to watch it, but it should be Saturday morning. Right. Okay. February 25 here. Yeah, so get on and watch Chelsea do a thing. Yes. How exciting. So excited. I'm excited. I still don't know my opponent yet, but I'm used to it. Yeah, I mean, Jamie's going through it too. Yeah. Like, he's like, we're less than a month from UFC 284. Yeah, he's 12th of Feb. Yeah, but that guy, like, again, sort of drawing a comparison between you and him, someone who has gotten a lot of, he's older than you, obviously, a lot of experience. He's just like, whatever. Yeah. I'll fight anyone. Yeah, fully. Let's go, whatever. Yeah. Just prepare, Yeah. It's not my first rodeo, Yeah, exactly. And it takes years to get there. Exactly. Yeah. And you can't teach that. And that's what I mean. Like, these are all the psychological tools that you're acquiring on this journey, and they're so valuable. And I think you've got to share it. You've got to share. Yeah. Give it to people give it away. Yes. Give it away. And then you'll get paid back tenfold. Yeah, I 100% believe that. You're so right. But as I say that to you, I'm actually
trying to say it to myself as well.
We're always like that. Hey, you give the best advice to other people, and you're like, maybe I should take that on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But you know how you said, like, and Michaela, you both said it, like, you know, fighting is such a selfish sport.
Yeah.
It is, but I don't think it's the most selfish. Surfing is fucking selfish. Like, if you're to be a pro surfer, I mean, those guys, you know, their lives are dependent on wind direction, swells, locations, and they travel
They have to chase it.
and then they'll surf for hours and hours and hours. And I think that takes a huge toll on relationships, for sure.
I think the thing with fighting, though, like, it's not just the gym. It's like, because we have to make weight and we have to weigh our food. We have certain things we need to eat. You're social. You don't go out. Like, when you're in a fight camp, you're like,
of course.
Jake will be like, oh, I want this for dinner. And I'm like, yeah, cool, you can have that. I have to cook this. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like selfish as in, like, there's no sort of, like,
flexibility.
Can we do something? Yeah.
But these are small. It's still good way. It's still a great way to live. Like,
exactly.
For your partners as well. Like,
for sure.
Imagine you were like trying to live with like someone who's engaging in negative behaviour and the work that comes with that. Like, so it's the grass is not greener. And I think it's just a beautiful way to live.
No, yeah, Jake, we always say that. We're
clean way to live.
And because we're constantly positive and striving for more, and all of that. It's just such a good environment to, like, he pushes me so much and I push him so much, and we just feed off each other. It's good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like we'll come to an end. You feel that, Michaela?
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Do you reckon women are more intuitive than men?
I'm not.
That's because you don't really...
I'm too masculine.
You're too masculine. See, I'm not buying it, really. Yeah.
See, Shan's like, I know you now. You're a little bit... You know what's funny? Like, with Joe, I'm, like, trying to be more feminine because, like, Joe at freestyle, like, just yells at everyone and just gives shit to everyone. So whenever, like, yesterday at sparring, I was using the gym's headgear and I was holding it to, like, wash it, and he was like, is that my headgear? Like, just yelled in my face. And I was like, and I literally just looked up to him with, like, puppy eyes, and I was like, yes. And then I just saw his face change from, like, real angry to, like, oh my God. And then he was like, did you just see the eyes she gave me? I'm like, yes, I'm going to do that every time he yells at me now. So maybe that's channeling my feminine.
My daughter does it to me. Like, we do it as a joke. She'll go, like, can I do this? I'm like, no. And then she'll like, I'm like, okay, you can do whatever. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's working so far.
Yeah, but also with Joe, like, I'm so paranoid about where I put my water bottle.
Same.
I'm like,
you're
got to go on the windowsill.
It was on the, and like I put it on the step. It wasn't on the mat.
Oh God,
and he actually was like, whose water bottle's this? And like I just didn't say anything until he went away, and then I just quickly moved.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're paranoid. You move things like 5 times because you're like, he's going to yell at it when it's there. Oh no.
Do you think that's the magic to his success is the humility he's breeding in that gym? Like, there's no room for ego there.
Absolutely.
You think that's why it's so successful?
Yeah.
But aren't a lot of coaches like that?
No.
Nah, the way he does
not
it.
that I've experienced.
There's an art to what he's doing there.
Yes.
Yeah, you can tell.
Because
it's not mean.
No, I mean, sometimes.
So if he wants to be mean, he'll be mean. Yeah.
But I think it is about he wants you to be a good fighter and be presentable and stuff like that, but not allow your amazing fighting and technique and all that stuff to then come in and be like, I'm better than anybody else.
Yeah.
It's like, do your job, get it done, but then don't be a shit human.
Yeah. He is so good at that, hey. Yeah. Like, he will just bring you down on a level.
Yeah.
You see it. If someone needs it, he'll bring you down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's necessary, especially in that environment, because egos could rise pretty fucking quick.
Oh, well, it's just a sport of... It
you
is
see it in sparring and stuff. Like, some people go real hard and you know it's just an ego fight. It's like, okay, guys, just stop.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You look silly.
This has been so good.
So good.
Anyway, you girls, the best. Thanks for being on.
Thank you
for having us.
Yes. Are we going to say something else? No.
No, I think that's
sorry, just the way you said it. I'm not intuitive enough.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
See ya.
Best.